Welcome back, everyone. We're getting into our grand finals here for the CIE 2026 Valorant tournament. I'm Hell Monkey Man back in the booth alongside Justin as we're getting into some Western fun alongside York. The Lions have been waiting patiently for an opponent that they have not seen yet. Justin, we've got the Mustangs. They were to run through the Badgers, so they have to watch from the sideline, but it's going to be Western that's ready to bring this fight. Here's them one more time. They're still acting with their sub and Miracle, who was able to show up late term in that game alongside North's Zombie Zeno, Hune, and WJK, who was so prominent as a main multiple kill finesser in that first series.
Yeah, and going into the second team, York, a team that we have seen play previously on stream, but just continuing to dominate on, haven't dropped the series. And, it's their Sentinel player, Brayden, Pete, Seun, Heaven, and their IGL Zuma, looking forward to continuing this dominant streak. This is the peak of Canadian Collegiate so far. This is a team that has been able to rest and been playing their first game, getting some information on that Western Brock game. But, the first map being Breeze, a map that I don't think has been played by either of these teams at all in this entire tournament. So it's going to be really interesting seeing what they can cook up.
For the 6 maps that have actually been played by York, to include that winners final that did go to a game number 3 and they ultimately punched their ticket into the grand final, 5 of the 6 were played by the Lions were all 3-side maps, either Lotus or Breeze. Well, you can already see in your best of 3 lineup that Lotus and Haven, or rather, so Lotus and Haven from the other one, but Lotus and Haven are loaded up, but Breeze will be first on the docket. There's been some geometry changes. There's been some shifts of the initial entry to both B and A. So depends on how much of that is going to really kind of change the paradigm, but neither of these teams have played it. And yet it got picked. So they've decided this is just simply where we're going to start measuring things out. So we go over into game number one. And already off rip for some of this agency as we go forward into it. Feels like there's going to be some big shifts, especially in the controller sphere.
You can be pretty comfortable not having a Senti. I mean, Viper on this map, especially with the second smoke, you're pretty much playing a Sentinel on her already, but you also want to make sure that you're getting a lot of utility out for your duelist. Now, Silva is a prominent pick, but as you can see, Neon being hovered by Peep here, it's not a character that isn't chosen, and that's something that has probably not anyone is really prepared for. Neon has been a strong pick here, and Yoru just being so underpowered now, but in previous metas, Breeze really favored Yoru. So it'll be really surprising to see what what York will try to match with this double controller comp coming from Brock.
Every single map that we will also see throughout this best of 3 for this grand final, all of them, York will be starting attack. That's how they wanted to design it. That's what they felt like would be the most fun way to play it. So we'll see if maybe that starting half will really kind of change up their overall pacing of play. But for this, I mean, you get now a switch up of maybe some role. Maybe they feel more comfortable in this one because we've got Elvis instead of onto a duelist like they've been sitting on. They decide to go over towards that Sova, so they'll be dueling with Zuma. It's pretty much all the same, save a little bit of difference into the double duelist situation from off of that Reyna, and as well as with that Jet. But they want to have it's kind of a sniping affair onto the attacker half of York instead.
Yeah, York's Clove, Zhangyi opting for a Clove pick here on Breeze. Pick that, traditionally you would think is underpowered, especially just not having that globalization for the smokes. But again, just consider that as a very aggressive pick, especially for a team that's starting on attack. That's something that you would want on your side. Still opting for the chamber though, despite having double controller. So you're still going to be able to open up some of those lanes, have those late lurks. And Brock not having a Senti, but opting for the double duelist, double controller setup, having the Reyna. Again, just another aggressive pick. One of those really individual picks. Not much room for team play, but a really strong pick, especially for Slinga, who has been consistently popping off in that last series.
Well, I mean, they can be able to have a bit more of a greedy agent as long as some of these greedy moments pan out for him. Seun already clearing out Doggo, and we know how important they were. Early tags, Sling is being isolated as a 3v1. They're not going to win that fight many days of the week. And now Elvis, oh gosh, they expose themselves and they still can't quite be able to find much value. So everything's slinging out to this outside lane of backside. And Haru Hero, we've seen them do this before. There's a few separately damaged players. Oh, but just a little bit of a sidestep onwards, trying to be able to put up that cove, protect them as much as they can. They actually find a couple just as the water goes down, and this might end up being a defuse. It's a 2v1. Western trying to be able to swing in. Can be able to find at least a couple. They run out. Is a knife fight? No. I was thinking it was gonna work. They're one right click away from this one all being over.
Yeah, Zhang getting the 4. That was really confusing at first. I mean, both people just not having enough bullets. But Haru Hero being in that position to backstab, getting the kill onto Zuma, punishing Jet as well, and then just having that orb up for the 1v1, being able to secure some sort of confusion. Really well played from them.
Pistol rounds are always my favorite in terms of the chaos that can happen. So I swore that was going to devolve into like a knife fight of some kind. Unfortunate for us. We didn't get to see it happen. Still, good start here by the Lions. And there, as a reminder, again, there will not be a bracket reset. I know that York has been able to make their way perfectly through this upper bracket, but this is just not the design in mind. Their benefit is that they didn't have to go through the lower bracket and do what Western had to do with Brock. Peep and company. They expecting this one just outside his back line. No. Elbow will treat them to Peep with a 2-piece as they get 1 each off of that bandit.
Yeah, Brayden securing that pick, consistently getting that late lurk in. Elvis being in his backside, tracking Peep, getting Zhang off the bomb. Not getting Zuma though. It's a good one for one.
Spike down A.
Well, on to Slinger. Getting shut down by Siyun. Clean 2-0 for York.
Solid work. Okay, so first couple of rounds, very clinical. Of course, you saw they had kind of a lesser buy, opting for at least trying to delay. They're hoping to be off of that kind of mid angle, as we've seen some of the geometry re-navigated here on midpoint and Breeze, pretty much everywhere. If you haven't seen Breeze in quite a few years, well, it'd be different, but you have to really kind of go around that long wall that's very protected. So they kind of blinded themselves off of the timing, but now they'll have some weapons. See if this outlaw pays any mind. Siyun decides they don't want an exit frag situation. They simply want to go in and frag out. Doggo off of this half wall. Oh, they're gonna get him on that. They knew they had to check that deep corner, and Siyun will be punished.
Yeah, being able to get that first pick, really good for the buy round here. But the rest of York just still sitting, taking their time, despite being down a player. Possibly trying to pop onto Doggo. Not much movement. Are coming out from Zuma. The one way here, just pushing Brayden off the angle. Fight's getting shot, but Brayden wins that one. And now York trying to get out to B. Doggo not hitting shots on Peep. Elvis is in the smoke. It's 3v4 for the side of Western. All of York is on site. Western trying to take his timing. Elvis getting one, getting traded out. But Haru Hero following up with 2 more.
Okay.
It's a 1v2.
Spike down B.
Promising. We've seen this go sideways before already. Very weak Brayden. They're going to see what they can obtain maybe for the rest of this bonus round. 13 seconds, and they have to be able to get back to that spike. They have a good crossfire setup. They've covered back sight. Over to McDonald's Arches. They will be shot from behind. So Haru Hero, good for 3. And so they get themselves onto the board. Western able to bite back.
Yeah, Haru Hero, always seeing him in these kind of positions where he can definitely just flip the round over its side. And that's another round where you don't want York getting all that momentum, especially with the way they're going to be playing their attack rounds. You know, they're essentially what I would think a volcano kept under control. They can erupt at any moment, but being able to contain themselves until they're able to guarantee a site, that's the strength. And they almost pulled it off despite being losing Siyun early on. They were still almost to get that round back. But again, Haruhiro securing 2.
Trying to create that early one-way for their squad on defense. Ooh, Siyun gonna reoperate here from mid, especially as they try to move big old boom cannon out and away. Doggo has done a pretty decent job about making life difficult to try and get onto. That's why Vipers are still so pivotal for Breeze. That long talk screen, of course, being able to pretty much lock down this site for early entry. And Elvis and company have gotten wise to this elbow push, so they will isolate that narrow hallway. But you see that it's 2 separate lurks, and they're going to a 3-1-1. Or a 1-3-1 rather, as everyone is out in mid trying to push out into this. And now they do threaten B, but I mean, depending on the go button, it looks like they've decided to rotate off because they've not received any initial pressure from this cave position, and so they're calling for the audible.
Irate finding 2, getting shut down by Zuma and Slinger on this backfight, killing Brayden. It's a 1v3 or 1v4 for York. Zuma being so low HP. I mean, every single lane just being hunted. Not getting Haruhiro. Evening out the map. Operator getting picked up on the side of the defenders.
Who do you toss that to? Gotta give it over to your Jet, right? So Haruhiro knows that they don't want to deal with any of that. Where in the world does your Jet end up hitting? So Arav is gonna go in support for Doggo. So this is gonna be a very tough lane to have to break into. And they'd already been kind of perching themselves off towards elbow in that window side. So I wouldn't be surprised, especially because they pretty much guessed that that op was picked up. They're going to have to challenge more to a mid-cave situation. But look at the triple or the double stack. They want to press out, take some space in cave. They've been basically conditioning to put that water cove out, give themselves a quick smoke. Doggo sees numbers, and they're going to be able to keep full HP, and they're going to run out from that.
Yeah, York opting for a heavier mid push here. Trying to prod to see whatever they can do to get this round despite having a weaker weaponry. Haruhiro spotting players. Pete getting out on site, but are they aware that there's an A main player here? Slinga holding. Harbor ult being committed. Catching one. Getting close. Using a leer. Pressing on the rest of the York players. Haruhiro following up. Zuma dinked. Not getting backside control. And York falling 1v5. Rating continuing.
Can't be done.
Could be. With the util, the shocks.
maybe not through that. It can be done, but that's a lot to have to deal with. So
Yeah.
now that makes it 3 in a row. We head to some Hunter's Furies and a Viper Pit that maybe could establish some site peel, if you will, to try and slowly meander in, or maybe just get a post plant hold. But it's been difficult the last, I want to say, at least 2 rounds for York to even see the site, let alone be able to get a plant.
Yeah, I mean, this is the kind of value that you're getting from the double controller setup. You're able to kind of space yourselves out and have so much breathing room as a defender. On the attacking side, you know, despite having double controller, you're sacrificing not having flashes, and that kind of inhibits you. When Hunter's Fear pushing the attackers off the drone, but Xiangi getting a pick towards B, still opening up the round despite York getting stalled out on this hit, and Brayden hearing Reyna potentially faking the runaway, taking the timing, and he wins that fight. Now Brock 3v5 having to split all their players out, 1A, 1B, 1 mid, and York just waiting, bomb towards B, waiting for Brayden to get back. Elvis trying to press forward, get that mid information. All of York, despite being up 2 players, just waiting until they can call this execute. And finally, they go out onto B with the dart, scaling. Siyun still being on that elbow pressure, putting that trip down so they don't have to worry about back.
Waited just long enough for counter Viper to clear sight. Really just kind of scare them off. If you've got the trademark down, you got Doggo backside. They're actually good for a couple, and now they're gonna use the not dead yet to try and chase them off even more. That's gonna burn a lot of time. They tag one, knows one nearby. They're gonna use that shock dart in case they want to swing early, and that means that Zangi's able to stay onto this map because they do win that fight against Doggo, trying to be able to sequester them through. It's a 2 versus 3. Not a lot of time to work with. And honestly, they're just trying to play for exit frags. It's going to be through the arch as they go. Braden does get rid of Haruhiro. And that's going to be Elvis. I think they're going to receive a good old bomb to the face. They'll be just out of distance, but good clap back here by the Lions.
Yeah, really good, starting and mid-round. Braden taking that risk, despite Slinga, who may have not tried to bait the util or noise out, but realizing that there's still possibly a lurker, but Braden just being so quick on the uptake, already being right in front of him, winning that fight just made it a lot easier for York to continue on their re-hit towards B. A lot of ults on the side of York too. I mean, I think they can start getting some sort of momentum here, especially with the op on Siyun.
They've been very disciplined about now checking this corner. They recognize that this is going to be their conditioning point, that they have to invest a little bit of their own. Even so, Sling is here. And Slinga continues to be an X variable that is very tough to solve for. People on the Blade Storm gonna make sure that they build up some extra pressure and eco. But Elvis, they may get caught, and they do. Those knives are good for an immediate response to shut down on one, make it a couple. I don't know if they got the information that Slinga is still nearby. That is going to be an op to the old kneecap. They were an agent like you too, but they took a 50 count to the knee. Slinga is going to try and be able to ramp this one up. They find a second one, but they cannot get rid of Siyun. 1 versus 2. Doggo in a winnable position, but they guess where he's going to come from.
And the op just confidently holding that back line. And Clove having smoke here, giving them some coverage, some sort of way, but jiggling, spotting Doggo. Doggo unaware of where Chamber could be. Oh, but Siyun trading. 4-3 for York.
It's just as close as we saw in that first match off of Lotus. Not quite a quadruple OT, of course, but his defense is now getting stretched a bit thinner. So this attack they recognize they need to own a lot more of mid, work around that tall tower and see what they can get. And Siyun is really starting to make themselves a difficult task of overcoming, especially with that operator, and kind of recognizing some of the timing off of some of these pushes out. So, yes, majority numbers going towards elbow. They've decided to just kind of run it down, and they're going to use that Hunter's Fury to just open up some free space.
Arab not being able to catch the window players, and Zuma getting spotted by the rest of Brock or Western. Western continuing to press this B main push. The rest of York sitting in the Viper ult. Doggo catching Zuma, regaining that B main control, and Siyun getting stuck close into the corner, being held by Haruhiro. Haruhiro hitting a nice shot, but keep trading him back. 3v3. Slinga coming out of tunnel, making it 2v3 for York. Xiangi getting a trade back, getting back into the ult, and Viper pushing out, catching Elvis. That's all up to Doggo. Doggo trying to run out, and Zangi securing, making it 5-3.
I always love doing the dumbest thing ever in this game when you have a Viper ult down, putting another Viper ult on top of it. It's one of my favorite things, and they didn't do it there. Didn't even really have the chance because they couldn't even enter through main for the most part at all. Maybe sometime down the line could happen. This is a stretch play, I think, out of Western. As you saw them on light shields, I see a judge, so why be forcing the issue? And yeah, they will be using that Viper pit early. If you see a Viper with a judge, it often means that ult is going to get popped.
Yeah, with the amount of utility that York has, I mean, they're not going to bite on it. They're going to take their time just contacting mid, letting that op work on the side of Siyun. Consistently just making sure that they're still going to, get the pace that they want. They're not going to fall for these early pressures. especially with them not conditioning A this time, and Slinger having to respect that, knowing that they like to favor that side, putting a lot of players towards A. They might just get the timing to overwhelm Silva and Tunnel.
A lot of responsibility is going to rest there. They may, in fact, ego check that one, but they're actually going to have their spike kind of navigate off of main regardless. Elvis sees contact. Bit of an overrun to have to use a op against that, but as they check into other quarters, they're not going to get into A for free. So there's going to be that scan, unfortunately, for Doggo. That is fantastic timing. They had to guess they had a shotgun nearby. Arav is waiting for anyone to press through tunnel. Oh, that weapon pickup. Able to get rid of one. Seun goes down. They dash onto site. Going to use that backdraft to come back in. They have no idea someone's right behind them.
One enemy remaining.
Becomes a 3 versus 1, and Slinga's got some work to be done. And I feel like with the way we saw their eco, they may save for later.
Yeah, Slinger being in this position behind a harbor wall and the time ticking down. Not able to do much. Peep spots him, but Slinger shuts him down. But he's just running away. He knows he doesn't have time. I really like what York has been doing. I mean, in these team executes, you can tell that they're taking their time, they're coordinating, and they're communicating on the timings. A lot of the pickbacks that Western are getting, you know, they're getting into these positions where they're able to make a play, but still, York just doing that early preparation, having enough players to counter whatever kind of mechanical individuality Western is trying to pull off, and gets shut down fast. And they're continuing with this momentum.
I mean, you knew that for Doggo hiding, obviously, inside of their own Viper pit, you throw out the recon dart, and recognizing that they do not want to allow them to slow creep into main through their pit, they have to be close quarter to it. So a recon dart scans them, finds them, they've got that judge, it gets basically nulled down to nothing, and that gave the go button over to York. So a lot of that patience on that execute like you've been talking about. Oh man. just off this drop. If only they had the x-ray vision we had.
Wait, I'm getting caught by this dart, and Slinger and Promise is trading, and Jangi, he's continuing, getting 3. Does he know Harbor could be out the Our hero getting 2, not getting the 3rd, but the Clo Vault being popped. It's all onto Doggo. Doggo getting spotted out, and York, Seun holding him as he walks backwards with the spike, missing his shot, but he runs towards the free site. Braden taking his time to hopefully try to backstab him, holding his mid pressure, and Doggo is fast. Players kind of split here, with Doggo being on bridge. Being held by the chamber. Making noise. Doggo taking his time to clear orange. He thinks one could be behind him.
Gonna wait for that call. As soon as any kind of contact is made, if he hits him or if he misses him, he's gonna swing straight through double doors. He's gonna exit lane. He's got a free shot. Seun gets rid of Doggo. Great coverage by York, and this is starting to look like the kind of squad that got themselves into the grand finals first in the first place. Remember, these two teams did not see each other through the regular bracket, so first looks at one another, and it was very divisive in our first 6 rounds, rather. So for Western, this might be their last goodbye for this first half, as we've already gone through 10. York is looking very, very solid.
Yeah, and I will say, you know, on the kill side of things, York and Western are still pretty even, but, you know, you start to think Western is usually used to just having those individual pop-offs, but York just showing tremendous team play, making sure that they're getting a lot of value for pretty much every single role. But Doggo shutting down Peep. Arav getting his 3rd or 2nd with the op, and Zuma getting 1 with the Odin, but not getting the 2nd. I mean, that's just a great shutdown for Western. And it's a 2v4. Seun with the op. It's an Odin op. Down numbers. I mean, if there's any guns that can make a comeback happen in the round, it would be those. Elvis trying to get a 1v1 with the Silva, and Zuma catching him off guard. He's getting a lot of information now on B, but Seun so far away from him. Trying to work back an A lurk early, and Slinga is just waiting. A crocodile in the swamp. So close. Seun clearing. It's like slicing a pie. He made noise, but he still catches Slinga. It's a 2v2. Harbor getting it's shown, just misses barely. But they know that Harbor's backside. Soon taking an aggressive angle. Just he's not hitting these shots, but he's getting so much information. Zuma finally catching him. Now it's a 1v2 for Western. Bomb getting planted. This is not favorable. Dart scanning, spotting him towards orange. He's being held on both sides. Switching his gun. Soon catching him. That is just composure. This is the reason why they have made it all the way here to Grands. Not dropping a single series. Every single round winnable. And just making sure that they're winning those fundamental shots.
Seeing just like that wide swing to kind of narrow that path up in a cave. They knew that their Slinga had basically systematically kept themselves moving. Oh, they tossed the operator all the way.
Maybe a miscommunication there.
Learn to swim. But making sure that the tendencies that they've seen already from Slinga and Western eventually gets put into their playbook for a reason. So knowing that at least a couple of folks are there, Zuma is going to hang on to that Odin, and holding their nerve right now is the side of Western. Final round of the first half. Blaze-Storm gets popped. Going to try and be fast with it. Not just a decoy. Peep is able to pop. This Horror Hero knows that there's a lot of waves that end up getting pushed up, and they're going to get scanned out, so they're going to have to retreat. And Horror Hero, they're going to take them down as they aim to go back into the cave.
Yeah, great refight from our hero. Despite York getting that open pick, they're able to make sure that they can't get out. I mean, Sobol being invested as well. York is just thinking, we can't really go back, but let's try to work out the map. I mean, they didn't insta-rotate to be, Zhangyi and Xiu, and trying to see if there's anything mid here, but Arav hearing the rotates on cannon, calling to his Viper, hey, they might be trying to NB now. He might try to meet them into elbow. York just walking up, taking their time. The rest of Western just reacting, pausing into spawn. Dune also has the op here. I mean, we've seen what he could do with this op. It's gonna be a strong factor for them to win this man deficit. Harbolt being invested. Zhangyi getting hit. Zuma getting one more. Doggo trading up, but Yoon. I mean, what a masterclass from York. Everybody just getting their piece of the pie. Harbolt even being invested, but just a confident 3-man hold with 3 different types of weapons on that line. That's a 9-3 defensive half for York. Super strong attack.
Tough scene for Western right there. I mean, they were just invested that Reckoning to try and really kind of open up some movement space, and everything just went so right. What is that, 7 in a row for York? I mean, you look at the split of the first 5 and 6, things were there, but they've kept Western from really being able to find ground underneath them. Even when they get first pick, they had Horror Hero with 2. That one looked very promising. Now they're gonna heavy lean into this A. They're gonna try and own cave. You don't have the same kind of cove situation, so that scan will come out, and it's going to force the issue from out of Peep and company. That is 3 fantastic first kills here for Western as they want to own this one around the pyramids of A.
Yeah, getting those opening picks, I mean, a 180 from how the last half looked, really showing that they're still continuing to fight, and getting possibly a flawless here. Yoon trying to look back, getting one, maybe unaware of the top bridge, and Horror Hero securing that pistol. A lot of chaos. I mean, really fast split for their side. This is what's really good with Harbor as well, is that you have a lot of utility for perfect coverage, something that Clove wouldn't be able to match in terms of utility, but both controllers have been shooting for both sides of the team.
Guns out, guns up. Western not going down without a fight. 9-3 curse exists for a reason. So first buys. Who's got that outlaw? You got Arav. Where are they going to be postured up towards? They're going to try and do some of that extra window peeking, but look at the kind of squeeze of mid. They want to narrow this gap, and Doggo might be vulnerable to at least a 4-1 swing. They've got their eye leaned towards that double door, and Zuma will receive an old shot to the body. Jump peek. Peep is very low. Doggo's going to hold on to this near side of tower. That's a lot of smokes to have to deal with, and that Cove actually completely grabs this wall. So Doggo will wait for them. In fact, they know they're going to be probably pressing up through this.
Yeah, the rest of York trying to take a fight here, catching Doggo off guard, and getting back, putting York in this, really interesting position. But Western just taking their sweet time. I mean, punishing Seun on the swing. Now it's a 4v2. Now they're thinking that's the B player. Let's just speed up. And York being late on the uptake, still walking, still trying to see if there's someone late. Not getting anything though.
30
Oh,
seconds.
this
Will they be able
is-
to clear Araf?
I don't think they will. Oh, they might actually.
One enemy
That's the
remaining.
first. And then that's the next. All right.
Oh.
Solid work. Chopping them down.
I mean, I would say out of the entire map pool, if there's any map that you can come back on 9-3 on the attacking side, it would be this map. I mean, this map is just so, punishing for the rotates on defense. If you're giving up those early picks that York was looking to do last half, as a defender, you're just gonna have to face the decision: am I gonna stay here on A, or am I gonna run 30 seconds to get across to the other side where they probably wouldn't even be committing?
It takes forever to take that safety line because it's the only way to directly get there. You have to basically give up kind of a free peek. So Braden's going to retreat. They're going to play this one very deep and covering up basically that back corner. Oh, 2 solid shots from out of good old Elvis as they send French Elvis to the floor. Quick plant. Braden has gone nowhere. They know that they had put that Cove against them so they could be able to play that one deep. Braden gets rid of 2 now. In fact, all the defense for this side of York is really starting to show up, so they're playing this one deep as they can. And off of the ping, toss a short snake bite. Feels like this could be inevitable, but hold that thought. Doggo finds their doppelganger, is able to get rid of them. Knocking one down, that's a Quigley. Zuma and Peep go down off a Collat. And Doggo is forcing this one to have to be a full hold issue. They'll be able to at least get that, but that is not going to be enough time. Solid post plant defense.
Yeah, you just thought that it was gonna go to the side of York. I mean, the Viper molly just being so short and them not knowing that, but no one on York trying to get that half, and just trying to fight the 2 players. But Doggo get the value. I mean, the Collat was just insane, securing him that round. Really important round for the comeback if they needed it.
Get the bonus when no one survives. And that means that the defense is in shambles economically. You already see Buckies and Stingers and thoughts of a lesser situation to make sure they can build up a little bit of cash. So 6-9, they are just fine. Now as they've been able to thin out this lead of what was 6 down to just 3. Same to be said, I mean, it's not the worst situation on the side of York, but they don't want to let this one go into cruise control in favor of the squad out of Western. So Peep and company, they'll take their shots where they can, but they're going to try and peel back and play numbers.
Yeah, just a lot of patience now. I mean, despite the lower weapon rate, Western don't really want to take a risk. They really want to see if they can probe and try to get an early pick. But looking for the early rotate towards A site. Might be looking towards to end A, but Zuma getting to clear, but not getting any information of the actual players there. Rotating early. And Western now in a conga line, waiting for that go to commit.
All in bets by York that they're going to be coming over to B. And, well, the betting line is going to be against them. Plant comes through for A. You're going to have to take all this forward. And everyone realizes this. So, double doors and back bridge. Everything should be well defended for the most part. Zuma will be first on site. And they've narrowed this down to basically the opposite side of A. So this is going to become very loud very quickly. Big scan dart. Econ will be able to find one. But Doggo is responsible for what comes next.
Keep securing, and Zuma getting a second, but Haruhiro being a defensive anchor backside, just continuing to shut these people down, but Braided with the Bucky, she just can't do anything. Hopefully trying to catching Elvis, but Hard Hero getting the third in the round. I mean, great recovery from him after losing 2 players initially.
It's 4
It's
in
a
row.
flip. Yeah,
Yep.
it's flipping. I mean, so much pressure from Haru Hero. His utility has been fundamental in these rounds. He's consistently making sure that he has no gaps, and in his positions, he's securing these really good picks. York being back to their buy rounds, close to that Clo vault, but not getting any breathing room for any of these 4 rounds.
Kind of made a big bet as well. They put the op in the hands back in Seun. That's pretty much what you're going to be doing anyway. Oh, one way. Backing up. Zuma wants some information. That scan eventually goes away and no one gets tagged. And that operator now kind of does nothing as it sits over on B, but all contact points are here on A. That's going to be Rav getting rid of Zangi. Zangi was becoming massive in that previous half. So far, they've been a lot more mute. This is going to be a Viper Pit. It's going to force a stall from out of the Lions. And this buying round for them might end up being the other side of a bad investment.
York, Peep, securing that one, making it a 4v4 retake. But are they aware that Elvis is already up doors? Harbor for the stall, catching Brayden. Arab getting a second for the round, and it's Yoon with an op behind the Viper Pit. But Arab, he's so aware. He sees him, catches him, and Zuma on this wrap. But there's just not enough time. 1v4. Walks into the Viper Pit, trying to get his. Getting onto the bomb, but pulling the players back. Continuing their dominant performance on this half. I mean, are we possibly going to see a timeout from York? You're not being able to respond at all right now. 5 rounds, 5 different economies, and every single round has been shut down.
I think that if York is going to be taking one, it's when they go even or down 1. I feel like even is the call, even though like everything is completely sideways. But if you do it now, you're planning through your eco, and you don't really have solid control of what you're having to do here. I think there is one hero rifle right there, looking for a pop and stop out of Seun. So again, not a lot of staying power that they have on the Sova side of things off of Cave. So you can't really challenge the same way that Slingo was, at least for a while. Zuma gets swung on off a wall bang from Doggo. They take over space in mid, and that clears a lot of entry points of wherever they want to go.
Yeah, I mean, as you can see, like everybody on York now, just a traditional Breeze defense. Everyone is kind of just split, but they are leaning towards this A hit. You know, with the anchor on B, Chamber being the early rotate, and the harbor wall being used here. Peep still being on this angle, may not be seen. Catch sees the Jet. It's playing down the smoke. Gets pushed out with the harbor util, and Jet. I mean, you just can't shoot there. Everyone on Western getting theirs. It's all up to Brayden. Here, being a little aggressive. Brayden, all he has is the Bucky. These executes on Western have just been so coordinated. They have not been missing a beat here. Continuously getting the frags.
Okay, we get one. You can tell that I think Arav has put a lot of time into playing some Neon.
Yeah.
some of the extra jumping that was happening, I was like, all right, I know which agent you miss.
You know, York has been giving up some of those early frags pretty early. And they just need to make sure that, yeah, with the timeout being called, they need to change up their game plan. I mean, Seun and Viper, the traditional strengths for the Breeze defense just haven't been getting much action. A lot of the A pressure has been, getting folded onto Sova and to Jet, and they just haven't been able to respond properly, especially with the amount of ultimates that they still have, just not being able to respond properly. You would think that, I'm seeing some pings towards on that A side. They might do some trap, maybe utilize this ult, try to push off that early pressure.
Might be able to get some of that run. I mean, they have a lot of ultimates that they can really respond with. If they see a funnel position, depending on if they can respond with
So that as well as their Viper Pit. So, you know, maybe separate them if you really need to. You can even use that as a trap situation. And it looks like they may think about that if they run them over towards A. So I did see a hero rifle bot into that previous round. So check out the option off of that. But I'm pretty sure they're going to take that timeout off of that long streak. As soon as they went tied, they have a little bit more control as to what's going to happen next. So they do take away this cave entry. On a narrow mark, they'll get a lot of information as well.
Yeah, and soon putting sort of on the back foot. Charmaine getting the tag on the Sova, pushing him off by the Viper. Still somewhere in the pit. Western here getting spotted by the chamber trip. It's a slow, it's a possible A split from them.
Right there.
They're just so weird from this A main push. Let's see him getting back closer. Hard hero. Anyone who's sitting, getting hard hero, still in the pit. Only could be one more in A main. It's a great spot. I mean,
Walked on by
Western. Oh, he got a little too greedy. And Elvis is being so patient, waiting for him. Now it's a 3v3. Hearing the flank call. Someone just trying, or Elvis trying to get some sort of information, and soon we're trying to catch him. All three York players backside. Making noise, Dago. Close, getting dashed out by Pete. Pete shutting him down. It is planned for me, but you're not getting out. Close smoke down. Shocks being used. Sumi hitting a nice shot. Low on time as well. I mean, it's one people difference, and it may have looked a lot different.
It really was. Like, as soon as they were able to break down much of that pit, they knew that they had entry otherwise. So, everything, just tying it up differently. Pete is definitely one of those players that they may not be consistently the initial pop and play. They know how to be a proper distraction and be able to get the picks for this team to continue snowballing in. So, good looks from the Lions. Some pretty healthy banks as of now for both ends. Braden is just going to have themselves good, honest look. But as soon as they call it the Alpha is there, they trying to respond off of
They were doing on that half, and now Braden just put that control. But this B main player, I mean, Braden shutting down that A push. So deep into B main. Taking his time. Getting two. Now, you could say, let's say, but I don't think the decision is up to them.
It's actually this entire round might be done. Like just right now.
Yeah.
Like, we cannot. Yeah.
York just being so disciplined. I mean, what's the kind of time, you know, really strong. Something that,
Seconds left.
especially just with the fact that you have an attacking op, you know, you want to make sure you're able to brainstorm. I still can.
Chilling for the time being. So let's see if they can maybe get one little peek pick.
If you can't activate off of one of these, then
Pretty sure it's just roasted. So they're gonna wait for the timer. This one's gonna turn over to a 9-11. So we got a solid chance from the Lions.
to really send this one spiraling against Western, because remember you'd mentioned that even though that we had got what, like 9-3, I think it was 3-8 at the same time as well, that those, much of these rounds had gone down to like the last couple of players. So they've been keeping even heel with them. Same thing on the catch up. So Lions in a good position. Sion taking their chance now, an opposite of what Peep had before, to try and have a nice op pop. They will actually have a few targets. I wonder if they're going to tell Braden to actually kind of lean back and let them through cave for free.
Yeah, Western opting for the heavier A push, you know, going a lot faster. The Reyna flash too low for Sion. So Sion being able to punish him. Now all the utility coming out. Everybody just flooding. The Viper being in his mid position. I mean, Western has 3 players on site, but Doggo getting that mid push. And Zhang committing that claw vault. It's essentially a 5v3 for the next 20 seconds. Clove just pressing forward with his ult, fearless, getting the information on Jet, clearing towards main, seeing no one was bricks, and the rest of York just slowly pressing. Pete getting the dash info, but Elvis getting it's a 1v1. Braden giggling, seeing Jet, Rayfan just running away, but he meets Braden. And Braden securing that 3k 1v1 clutch. I mean, it looked so good for Western. The picks were going on their side despite down 2 players with the 1v1. Braden just cleaning it up. It's a captain play.
That was a wild time, especially Braden. They were the first at the door, welcoming in the rush out from Western, and then all of a sudden everything went completely sideways as they were deep into that double stack. So suddenly we got the Lions on game number 1 point. Remember, we're going to a duplicate of a couple of 3-side maps. If you haven't seen Lotus and Haven, well, you might see some Lotus and Haven just around the corner. Braden is going to be up and even as they throw a snake bite out, trying to dissuade them from jumping straight in. They're going to use at least a couple of those cloud bursts. Braden is going to be able to find one. No! Irate fan, that's a Rav. Gets rid of the man that was the hero last time around. And suddenly they're repelled. Zuma's not going to find any targets through this blind wall.
Western being up 5v4, having a lot of close man util. Harbor ult and Sova still being up. 3 players on the site. Getting hidden, spotting Slinger on the drone. But there's 2 players from York pressing on this A main flank. Catching Haru Hero off guard. Zuma getting a pick on Doggo. Now it's a 4v3. Zangi cleaning up, pressing. It's 2 sides. Sion getting his with the up. But Rayfan, it's all up to him. And he gets shut down. That is map 1 being taken by York.
I would say it was dominant. It was definitely decisive late term. York did it for the content, as some of you have said, but this time around they're able to bounce back, and they do it very, very assertively against the side of Western. That Breeze map was streaky, and that was to put it lightly. That timeline, what was it, 7 rounds in a row one way, 6 in a row the other direction. We had 9-9, but as soon as it got tied 4 in a row, Lions wanted to put that one to bed.
Yeah, I mean, it looked really shaky. A lot of the rounds were going towards York's side, Western side on that second half. But York just taking their time with that timeout, getting their footing back. I mean, they didn't drop a single map or a single round after that. And they're looking really strong. I mean, a lot of that came from their coordination, that double main flank at the end, pressing onto Haru Hero, so he doesn't have that value on the ult anymore. And the Sova being out of position to capitalize on his ult, just continuing that dominant run.
All right, so our hero, I mean, look, it was looking promising, but everything it didn't have to be kill feed wise. It was simply about how they kind of executed late. We got to see it early portions from out of Sion, Peep showing up in big ways. So a 13-9 to kick things off here for this grand final. Remember, there's not going to be a bracket reset, but right now that's not even a thought in the brains of the old Lions from out of this squad. They're going to be going into game number 2, and when we shift things around, we do have a Lotus cooking up. So I think that we may be going into a break, and we will be doing so. So we're gonna be taking a short break. We're gonna set up for our next one, as Lotus could be where it all ends here for the CIE rather 2026 Valorant tournament. You guys stick around with us. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome in, everyone. We've got map number 2 on the way as we get into this for the CIE 2026. I'm Hell Monkey Man in the booth alongside Justin as we get ready for what could be our last map of the evening. It's going to be a good old 3-side map. In case you haven't seen enough of them, we're right back to it. Lotus will be live and online between these two squads. We had seen by Western versus the side of Brock a quadruple overtime on Lotus. With the way that we've seen now the side of the Lions, Justin, should we expect anything similar, or maybe do they close this out?
Yeah, I think York does have a strong Lotus, but Western having that earlier rep, being able to, win out against Brock, in 17-15 fashion, you're gonna be a little happy knowing that this map is something that you've already played today. Maybe some things that you were confident in before, you're willing to try again. While York, if they weren't watching, kind of have to scramble and try to understand the way they play that map before they make their own decisions. But both teams, playing that double controller on Breeze, showing that they're a lot more methodical than you would think, especially with York in that attacking half, taking a lot of their time. That's something that would favor towards Lotus. So I'm excited to see how they keep up with that kind of momentum.
Well, we got to see some solid play a little bit before, and of course, with the squad with their Fade player, I feel like that's going to really come out to shine for Western. So we'll see if that ends up where they find most of their value, but also feels like it might be a return to form for Slinga, who went very quiet into that latter half. They came up late turn, but Lotus is really where things started really making it, their motions better. But for everything for CIE here, this is championship point unlocked and online for our Lions out of York. For the Western side of things, let's see if the Mustangs might be able to run this one down. Our hero, remember, we saw some Vise play earlier, and York might be trying to design something in counter to that, but I feel like there's no reason to truly break out from what was successful a little bit ago.
Yeah, a little different here. Peep and Jangy changing roles essentially. Peep being put on the controller, the second controller, and Jangy opting for the raise. So having played Clove last map. This is looking still though a pretty strong map. I mean, Zuma staying on the scan, Suyun on the chamber, Braid on the Viper. But Haru Hero changing what he played earlier, opting for the Cypher over the Vise.
I wonder if that's. I mean, they felt so confident with the way they were playing along their major kit from the way that they were on that Vise. So maybe they feel like they just need to have more information. Maybe they feel like they got to get a sideline onto Siyun and how this chamber is going to try and play a bit more aggressive. And so that's going to be very helpful if they really post up Siyun around that waterfall side. It gives them a safety line to use that rendezvous to get the heck out of Dodge. And so how this one goes, I'm not sure. I feel like this is going to be far more divided than we were in that quadruple overtime last time round. And Brandon Company, they're ready to get this one to bed. I think a lot of you might be as well if you're East Coast gang. So we go into our game number 2, but it's got to be Western that bounces back, and they got to force this one to go to the distance.
Yeah, losing that Visal is a little questionable. I mean, I think last time they were getting a lot of value out of it, especially for the counter retakes. But Cypher in its own right is a little stronger, just having more coverage with the double trip, getting a lot more information. So maybe there's something that Western decided to bank on. Early pressure from York, getting the dog and blind out, and Doggo getting caught with the blind. It's a 4v2 mound push, the nade, and Siyun shutting him down. Now it's all onto Elvis on this solo seaside. Peep clearing close by himself, catching Elvis. It's a 5v3. And despite this, Brayden going up onto A, calling his teammates back in. We have the timing here, opting to go through door. Jang getting caught by the trip, but still forcing themselves, trying to brute force this push. Slinga almost catching chamber, TPing away, and they're going over towards A.
What a play call. You've cleared out all of C. You don't know if it's completely free, so you say, you know what, pop door, let's get out of here. You end up losing one along the way as Braden falls out, so it's a 4 versus 3. Peep, rather. Might take a peek over that drop side of this hill. Ooh, they'll protect themselves for all of a little bit of... Oh, Har Hero does go down, but 2 in kind. That leaves Har Hero to try and pull off the hero play they did a little bit ago. They got a ghost to do it. That shot should give out the rest of that information. So they're just nearby. This is pretty well covered. This is going to take a very big way to be able to break it open. Not going to happen. Peep with the 3K. And that's going to be Lions up first.
Really great call. That's the kind of things that they've seen before on Brock with the Viper util, but Brayden being a lot more assertive and already showing presence and value with that wall. Now Western have to ask themselves, how much value are we going to give this wall? Should we still keep doing what we did last time, pressing up onto this space, making sure that they don't get a lot of information early on? But that's something that we can see. But for now, opting for a C stack on their eco.
I just like what they're doing off of this 4-1 split as well. A lot of long form threat can be presented out of Siyun off of the Outlaw, but I mean, they're doing the same thing that was being done by the squad off of A main. Man, Peep already gets a 3K. Skeet shooting, helping out there as they throw down with the Bucky. Hold that thought. Weapons will be picked up. Boombot's going to tattletale for who's around the corner. Brayden doesn't let it at least look at him. They're going to throw out some snake bite. A little bit of a nod saying, hey, I see you. And Siyun has rejoined. They're going to have to recover that spike. They haven't seen them rotate back onto site.
Elvis getting some stinger headshots onto Siyun. So many shots getting traded out, but no bodies falling. Elvis getting up in personal. Brayden getting to 1 HP. Both York players being 1 HP. Elvis with the nade out and Slinger getting the third. That is a BMO bludgeoning thrifty. I mean, really well played from Western, consistently getting those shots up, and Elvis, you know, peeking, going above, going left, going right, all around on mound. The York players couldn't keep track of him.
Fantastic work to really kind of narrow the margins there, and they didn't really wait for a comfortable spot for York to try and play off of that. So taking advantage of at least crowding the numbers from off of that mound position. They go 1-1. So now off of the eco break situation, we're going to have some nice early buys into round number 3. See what they can be able to kind of pick up with. So Doggo and company off of this defense from Western. Oh boy, they find a couple. Good spray control. They get rid of the hunt. In fact, Doggo gets put to sleep after finding 3.
That third, I mean, it's good that he got 2, but getting that third really just sealed it. And Slinger getting Brayden to 1 HP. Brayden taking this fight despite that, still losing out, and that's a 1v3 for Zuma. All edges, all sides just being covered. Not much you could do here, but you do have 3 1v1s despite where you go. Hard Hero just waiting for him to break this, but the alarm bot or the raise bot not getting any information. Now they're thinking, where could Fade be?
Are they even still here? Oh, it's him on the minimap. That's it. All right, cool. Sometimes those jump peaks just feel like they're OP, but you can get some insta information off of your minimap without even having to truly see them yourself. Still, good looks from Western as York falls for a couple, but this one's going to be your first rifle round here on Lotus. Maybe that actually is, maybe that switch off from the Vise over to the Cypher, obviously by design, but they feel like they need better eyes on for some of the rotations that they kind of lost track of whenever they were on that previous iteration against Brock.
Yeah, and I think with Haru Hero, he's probably feeling his shots a lot more too, so he's thinking he can get a lot of value with Cypher, but he's confident into taking these fights. And right now, you know, seeing the early pressure, Slinger getting dinked, but York taking their time, not initially taking that map control. And Elvis on the side of A, punishing Brayden. And they know that they can't go A side. Getting that early retake now. Cypher Strip being seen. Still an op on the line though. Haru Hero getting blinded and Slinger punishing Zuma. Dang, getting more. Peep trading back. It's a 3v3.
Up instantly getting some value, and yet thereafter he gets a little bit sideways. Doggo desperately wants to try and find this one from main. So they take their sweet time, invest the dark cover onto that trademark. So Rob has too many targets, actually finds support from behind them as Elvis will get to it. Doggo is just living a slow adventure to come in through main. Now where all his teammates already are anyway. So Siyun is going to be seeing what they can do 1 versus 3. Honk comes out. They are tagged, and then they are all bagged up. Doggo eventually joins the crowd as he get a wallbang headshot. Solid work.
Yeah, I mean that initial waterfall fight looked so scrappy. Just no shots landing for Western, but eventually getting both picks, putting it to a 3v1. I mean, super confident. Really, really great positioning for Cypher and for Jet initially, but getting shut down. Brayden also getting punished on this lurk. I mean, Western are super, super adamant on not giving Viper this easy control. And the Cypher pick, you know, despite the kills not showing it, getting a lot of value, just getting so much information all throughout.
Round number 5. Western's already been able to break them. Now they've been able to do it again as everyone's on a lesser buy. Siyun might be receiving dose of their own medicine. They are. Slinga again comes up with a fat op shot. They picked that gun back up and they gave it right back over to their key Jet. And Haru Hero does not want to give away, but that camera, little turn, and Brayden shuts that one down. So still, this is Fortress of Solitude for Haru Hero. They got 2 tripwires. I mean, the door is going to give away that they're pushing in, but they definitely have to force them upwards. But they've decided, all right, this is the Senti setup. We are going to navigate back to main, but look who's also ready in B main to maybe receive them as Elvis wants to get a shot to someone's dome.
He just barely misses him. Well, he comes back to get the information. And Zhang getting up and close and personal, unaware that Elvis could be here.
Oh.
Oh, with the bot and the stinger punishing him. Arav getting the trade back onto Peep. It's a 3v4. Brayden leaving tree
30
here,
seconds left.
and York opting for this B plant. Brayden breaking the trip, but still getting cleared out. He has a 1v1 here. Slinga unaware that this judge could be closed to Jet.
Player standing.
Gets the judge, and Doggo also gets the pick onto Zuma. And Brayden so far from the bomb. Can't do anything with this. Getting a pick for the road. Possibly killing one more. Oh, he did. He shot them the op.
Yeah. So that's now out of play. So as much of a consolation prize as you could really get off of having your round diffused in front of you, but 4 in a row from Western. They lose the op, but Slinga had enough cash to be able to buy another one. Looks like Elvis may invest into. Yeah, I kind of foresee this. So all right, they're going to be picking over to having that judge, and they want to go a little bit faster. They may in fact do the same thing, just kind of own that around close side rubble, and then rely much more onto their showstopper if any pressure came here. But all of it leaned away towards C. So tough timing, tough read.
Yeah, Western getting this really early information in space. I mean, Jet, everybody's just going out to sea, but the Rays all coming out, just pushing them off this line. Jangy getting caught out by Slinga, making a 5v4. But Western still has so many ultimates here. Middle beams used.
Big old Nightfall double kill. Yes, sir. That's going to be Elvis. Zuma and Peep hit the ground. So now everyone's suddenly repelled, and they can't do much of anything. They're going to have to just walk away from this one. As soon as that rocket landed, that one was able to just send them off.
Western is not slowing down. I mean, they look so strong into this retakes. That's the kind of reps that we were talking about before. I mean, the last 3 rounds just purely off the retakes and what we've seen in that quadruple OT. This is their specialty. Zuma calling a timeout for the side of York. You know, I think if they were watching the stream earlier, they might have an answer. Actually, they might not, because Brock didn't end up getting an attack round either. So they're really on the back foot here. They need to get some sort of rounds. You know, this mapping three sites, it's gonna be really, really crucial for you to get, you know, any more. You don't want to give them that lead, especially with the way Western is playing on those other attack rounds on Breeze. They've been starting to get methodical, and with the kind of kit that they have, the op still on the line, still having the judge, you really want to make sure if you're York, you're gonna get a lot of value out of this fatal, possibly getting Varpal up for the post plant and getting any kind of value that you can get from the chamber as well.
Problem is, whenever they run up to try and use one of those kind of wider ults, they just don't have a good setup right before they kind of enact it. So that definitely has to be the heaviest portion of this conversation. And so, I mean, so far, as soon as they find point of contact, they are just ruined. Maybe they were looking into that Lotus and thinking, all right, we're going to be getting another Vise. We know how to be able to kind of handle that. And not that our hero has been the main point of kind of resistance, but slinging an op too often into that previous version. Now you have a snipe off that's going to happen. They're going to try and raw dog Pete this one. Oh, but Siyun, pixels difference, shoulder widths as well. They're able to find at least one as they start charging onto C.
As Yangi getting out, the blind being committed. Doggo catching Brayden off guard. It's a 4v4. And Hard Hero getting more on the backside push. He knows one's in the cage. Runs past him. Gets punished. Peep getting the pick onto Doggo, onto Waterfall. Now it's a 3v2 on the side of York. Peep getting caught out, making a 2v2. Arav dogging. Getting the information at once close. Elvis is just so far away. He's waiting for him. Zuma just holding. Still fatal in hand. Catching Rob with the judge. Elvis catching both York players off guard. They did not know he was so late. They thought he was going to be flanking. I mean, I would just have no words for that. I mean, in the side of York, you think everything just went towards your side, but just a miscommunication, misunderstanding of where the last player was. Now it's 5 rounds lead for Western.
Western is not looking back. They lost one pistol, and since then it's been perfection for the most part. Very gutsy and very cheeky calls. Remember how difficult it was for us to ask this squad and Brock to win an attacking round? It's so incredibly persistent of these defenses really standing up, and that's only been able to really perpetuate into some success here in this next iteration of them playing some Lotus. So for this squad, oh boy, Peep finds a couple. Just when that haunt comes through, all focus was there. They did not hear or recognize that a teleport was going to happen. It's a lot of teleports. Just don't even use your legs.
Yeah, Doggo getting that 5-meter advantage for the TPs. Being held here though by Peep. And Peep continuing his rampage, getting the third of the round. It's a 2v5 for Western. Trying to see if they can get anything to work. Peep getting shut down by Hard Hero. Getting the cage out, trying to sneak by. The op getting spotted. They know a player's in drop. They know another player's in stairs. So this is a single player from the fight. Hard Hero almost getting clapped, but getting shut down by Zuma. The 3v1. You're looking to save this op. The difference in pace there from York. Speeding up. I mean, this is what I think they should have been doing from before. Just having the amount of utility to win these A fights, especially with the way Western was playing kind of passive in a sense. Always having the 2C players, the Jet not really dashing up. So finally getting that early aggression that Brayden isn't able to replicate with the wall. Got them that round.
Finally recognizing they have just a little bit of the pseudo man advantage if they can work around this op. And again, maybe this is why Slinga wasn't having it early on. They want to be a little bit more versatile about how they were kind of positioning around this map. But now you've got a bit of the op crutch situation. It's finding dividends. They finally work away from it because they're having to make reads as to where they're going to be postured up to. They'll be at least with this 4 stack right towards this stairway side, and they want to go out with a Rebel. So trying to be able to take an open, honest fight. Sling eventually is shut down in response. That's gonna be Zingy rather. Zanga. I don't know. Promise cap, promise earn.
I mean, we just were literally talking about it. Western had to decide if they wanted to start going for that A push because, York, knowing that they finally have the advantage for this A fight, and they tried to meet it with the jet, but still getting shut down. I mean, Zangi with the 4, great shots, and the op also just being on Haru Hero, was a plan that they couldn't continue. 6-3, 3 rounds left. York still looking for this A control.
You gotta feel too familiar if you're Western.
Yeah.
They've hit 6 before, and then they get locked down.
Yeah.
So
on both
this has got to be that point of propulsion.
Find you.
I think all 3 games in today so far have just been a 6-6 start. But this might be the change. York has so many ults. I mean, getting information on Slinger here. Getting a dink. Zuma, though, picking off Elvis. Coming out the smoke. Taking their time now. Cutting noise. Trying to see if they can get anything. Doggo taking that early TP.
I like the idea of that too. Making them think, okay, plussed up numbers. Where did the doggo end up going? Are they behind enemy lines? Or are they simply there to support them? They're still going to be towards the attacker side spawn, but now they have to navigate otherwise. Still, this rotation is going to happen more towards this secret side, and now another from the shadows will be used to be able to get to back B side. So everyone's here. Be 4v5. A lot of firepower taken out of the hands of Western, and also general control. Trying to cut one down. Oh boy. Arav is now being dissuaded from coming back in. Slinga and company, alongside Haru Hero, they find what they need. They use that Prowler as a decoy, and Slinga needs to ramp up.
Yeah, blind being used on the side of Doggo here, but getting killed by Zangi. Zangi getting more than Slinga, shutting him down. Brayden, though, with the Molly. It's all up to Slinga. No 1v2. Both players in main. Time ticking down, tapping, trying to see if he can force a swing. Getting peep off the line, but the time so low. Brayden securing that round. 6-4 for York.
I think I'm starting to get too familiar of a feeling right here, Justin.
Yeah, I mean, not in any sort of bias, but I really do want to see a change. I mean, both teams is getting into 6-6. Western, I know they can probably get the 7th if they put their minds to it, but looking like, there's too much things going on the side of York right now, and York also just having 3 strong ults for these next few rounds. There's a lot of potential for them to keep going.
Well, Slinga is going to go to some eco ults, and remember, there's only a couple before we flip halves. That attacking side has been difficult, but that's because these defenses have really stood up when we saw them between Brock and Western, and now Western, I mean, it was 6-1 for a second. They've let a foothold be gained by the paws of the pride of the Lions. Testing and turning from here out of A main. They will sink their teeth into a bit of B. I also want to see if there's anyone just around this tree section. Look how there's like literally nothing set up. Tripwires are gone. They don't have anything because of this eco. So they can kind of free entry with no util to have to break down. They also may invest into this knife fall. They're going to do so. No value gained there, except simply no one is there. So again, it's another B hit, but right behind them is Elvis as they got the hero rifle. And they at least get one. So off of the grasp. Just enough. Neural theft. They're going to get some extra information here.
Yeah, the Viper Pit here could be a double-edged sword for York. Not getting enough visibility for the distance, but Brayden still getting 2. No, Slinga punishing his Hyun, and Brayden getting his 3rd. Zuma, it's a 1v2 for Slinga. This shorty is not enough. It's a 1v1. And Brayden leaving his ult, hearing the dash. He knows the time is low. He just has to play. Viper ult going down, and Slinga not knowing that Brayden repositioned for him, and now it's a 6-5.
Last round in the half.
Seen it once. We've seen it twice. We might be seeing it thrice, folks, as we get so close to York going up, well, at least tying things up. And we'll take 5 rounds in a row after it was 6 in a row by the Mustangs. So you have a showstopper, you got a nightfall. Defense has something to enact upon. not a lot of orbs and not a lot of ult points in general to be able to get this squad any ults. So there's gonna be some dependency on how they execute to this moment. So we'll see how that ends up going. Key targets, and look how this one is actually shifted. They put some of their utility off of their Cypher towards C, but otherwise no one is there. They've stretched or pushed this one much more up to A and B. So, well, we're gonna go to the latter third of this entire map.
I must wait a moment.
Yeah,
A lot of
5v5
targets from around this
retake.
corner.
Oh, Elvis getting the shutdown and committing with this result now. Catching Peep on the line. Continuing this run, but Zuma with the Odin. Catching one, Elvis trading him off. Fatal still online.
Face your fear.
Being utilized in York. Getting one, Brayden getting another. It's a 2v2.
Last player standing.
Everyone's
And
running
they
around.
chop him down.
Our hero. What a transfer onto Siyun. And that's 7 for Western.
All right. So a little bit of return to form. Took everyone bundled together to finally be able to kind of slow that one down. The Lions, they claw their way back. Gotta give them some credit. That was some solid work to be able to get back in line. And now we get to find out if Western truly has the gut check moment. We flip halves. We go to the next side as their attack needs to show up. And York, I mean, they're only down a couple. Pistol will be huge to get themselves back in control. This will be whether or not we have a ticket punch to go to game number 3, or if York wants to shut it all down here.
Yeah, I mean, I love it that Western is continuing their defensive retake dominance, always winning pretty much 80%, I feel like, or more of those defensive post plants. Now being on the attacking side, you want to make sure that you can keep control of this lead, and hopefully you can make it back to a map 3. Slowly walking up, breaking the alarm bot, opting for a B push here. Our hero being on that late lurk, but Brayden, he knows someone could be walking up. 3 players on the side of York on Waterfall, punishing the extension from Elvis, and anyone else close being blinded off. Slinga getting mauled, getting pushed out of the smoke. York is continuously, slowly taking back some space. Doggo trying to blind back, the eyes clearing. Our hero getting caught in the lurk by Peep. It's a 5v3. Zuma getting his. Doggo not landing shots, but Brayden continue picks. Got the second, but it's not enough. Dude and Brayden cleaning up for York.
So close. A single extra bullet or otherwise off. They had to commit to a right click there, but there was a very hurt player diving on top of them from up in heaven. So good take back, good retake from off of York. Now off of this bye, they have a chance to bring us back to even keel between these squads. Western been able to deny that already so far into this map from a pistol win. And feels interesting that they're going to go right back into the belly of the beast where it happened last time over in C. Now, defensively, they were on the worst situation. They're going to get out of there before things become worse for them from that outlaw, and they do get tagged by the Haunt. Oh, this back corner, they're all weakened as they pop through that poison orb. So that means this is a killing fest. Bunch of fish, meat barrel. And now you got one lost Cypher. Oh my goodness. Zangy everywhere.
Still getting shot down though. Keeping 3 guns for the bonus. 7-7. Could be anyone's game here. I mean, Western looking super strong previously. For the initial attack half. This time, they don't have to worry about as much of a lead as they were down 3-9 before. Which could be a factor in them getting this momentum back onto their side. I mean, Slinger continuing a great dominant performance, 17-9, and he was dominating last Lotus map as well. Soon catching Elvis off guard, TPing away. And Slinger trying to see if he can get more Fade Util, just continuously clearing them the Viper wall, pushing him off the line as well. And that's the space retaken by York. Western down a player, or yeah, down a player. Trying to see if they can do anything, but Zuma just posted up here with the judge. I mean, you can't do much here. Raising Omen now, understanding the situation, leaving. York are getting ready for this possible C hit, stalling out Western. Every player close to Mound. And it's looked like they're trying to, yeah, re-hit. Blind being committed, but Braden still being on the back bend. Getting caught out. Haru Hero also punishing Zangy, but Peep walking out of waterfall. Getting Haru Hero, getting traded out by Doggo. It's a 2v3. Zuma on the flank. And Seun looking for his. Zuma punishing. Taking away most of the players' attention. Shots being shown. Seun not catching one with the outlaw. Jumping, trying to get another. And Zuma still pinching. Both players on bend. York players doubling up now. About to be a 2v2 fight on this bend angle. What a swing from Western. They're just faster there. Seun not ready for the double swing.
A little bit of a kind of a double timing situation because they were right there facing each other through the boxes, and then Zuma looks away just a little bit to see if anyone's peeking over the ledge there on top C site. So stemming the bleeding just a little bit is Western as they are able to find one, but this rifle round is very indicative as to what comes next. And I mean, Western's found some just success right there. Came down to just 2 players left, so off of it feels like you're not super confident that the rest of this is within proper winning hands. You're going to be tagged out. Elvis, oh boy, everyone is nearsighted and they've got a lot of BBs to spread the love. Now eventually they're dropped by Zuma. Putting 2 down, 3 swing together. B side's pretty much under control.
Yeah, being aware that Fade is here, but you know, the Fade all being committed. Seun trying to get their early picks, but getting punished, and RF just too much for Zuma to try and bring it back. Western getting a 2-round lead, 9-7. I really do like though what York has been doing with this Viper wall. You know, instead of doing the traditional wall that extends from B main to the tree, they've been pushing the wall a lot more, giving them that early pressure. But even with that early pressure being guaranteed by them, they're not able to win most of these rounds that are, you know, essentially getting telegraphed from the amount of control that they have. And York being down on eco now, opting for a possible 3-man walk up here onto front B, maybe 4.
You just bundle all this. If Braden gives them the good word, they're probably just going to run up together. And I feel like that's being read in capacity. They're going to use that from the shadows to see where everybody do be. And so that's at least the first one by Zangy, but Braden is clapped back down as they try to walk outside of C long. So A is the main hit. They're going to just try and bring numbers in general in this 4-4. Showstopper shouldn't be invested. I don't think so, at least knowing that they have this kind of general economy, though. They do have a pseudo one-way from off this position with Doggo as they play deep onto dip or drop, whichever way you want to call it. Haunt down. They know that someone's here. Got him paranoid. Doggo's able to walk it out.
Huh. He got out somehow. Came back to swing. Keep trading him.
Player standing.
Elvis getting one with the ult, but it's a 1v2.
Remaining. My ult's ready.
Slinga securing the one. Getting Zangy.
Easy.
Really close, but not enough for York. Western getting another attack round and another post-plant win.
Something just intrinsically different, I guess, from the last time they had faced Brock onto this one. And I guess it's because their overall compositions were pretty close-knit. This one, some similarities, but key difference is how they're making Swift work. Apparently off of the Cypher. Were they nerfing themselves by going to the Vise? I don't know. Seun has the op. They're going to try and pull off the cheeky chamber play.
The op here being spotted, but still staying on the line. Elvis taking this early B main control, getting sited right close onto the doorway. And the rest of the team opting to try and pinch with Elvis. walking back towards CNCU and getting really aggressive. The dog spotting a lot again. The shot, but the door's being opened. Now it's Brayden on the island. Not getting cleared. He's getting two. Slinga trading him back. It's a 4v3. Yoon running away from the Cypher roll and the nade. Opting for good old-fashioned retake here. And Western down in numbers. Looking to extend.
Planted.
Elvis going deep into CT.
Oh.
Going to see Zangy, but Zangy clears him out. It's a 4v2. Our hero in main. Slinga trying to hold this cross. The op. Missing the shot. Seeing Peep cross. Bahario catching Seun. It's a 3v2. Zuma eyeing. Everyone on York running towards the Ben players. Bomb being tapped. Zuma getting his. Hero trading. Getting a third by Zangy. Cleaning it up. I mean, that's just a numbers advantage. And York finally, after the last 2 rounds, coming back.
Love explosions.
10-8.
Finally stabilizing in that round, but they don't have a lot to buy with. If you kind of look across the general buy spectrum, though, there should be plenty of love, at least on the side of Western, but they're forcing this issue a couple times. You're gonna have light shields, you're gonna have a guardian. There is one operator that still stands out there, so that feels like we're gonna be seeing a round where they probably pop out with a Viper Pit. Brayden is gonna play support again over to Seun. None of that rotation is gonna happen, but they may punch out from Mount, try to take over a little bit more of that. So seeing the numbers, seeing that haunt, they immediately have a rotation, and Seun is going to play on the safest side of the map just in case they decide to run away from it. But as soon as they recognize that the Cypher setup is, or rather that the Seun setup is not there, they may just kind of haul butt through tree. Zuma gonna send a zooming prowler. No one's there, even if they pop door. So now they gotta pause and ask some questions.
Yeah, York here trying to be, proactive, trying to get some information, trying to walk down on this B main angle. The cam spotting 2 players on front B. So Western being super confident they can hit onto the site now. Speeding up. Zuma just being on stairs, nothing to be on site. Fatal confirming that. So it's looking like it's gonna be a 5v5 retake.
Spike planted.
Bomb being planted. Slinga trying to fight off this gap. Jangy committing on his Razor, catching Slinga, but getting trading out by Elvis. Eyes being picked by Elvis, getting it more. Zuma punishing him. Brayden getting his 2 out of stairs. But Arav, no 1v2. Getting caught by Seun. It's 10-9 from York. I mean, great shots from Brayden there. Getting double the value that he was supposed to on stairs. I mean, all the ults. I mean, Jangy just getting into their face. Despite dying, getting that opening pick just allowed York to continue with that opening. And it just split the round wide open.
Now they're catching up and looking at, again, that eco setup that we've got from this. No one's in a great position. This is going to be old man fist fight and weakest wrists met up in mid. So trying to tie it up. Seun still has their up. They're going to be postured out from this other side of the stairs. They've not been able to get a solid read on where in the world everyone is going to go first. Slinga with the knives, well, they know where they're going to go. They get rid of good old Promise Kept. Oh, they find one. A little bit of the wiggles. Peeps finds 2. Trying for that little bit of side-to-side sachet. But they will find a nice couple.
Gun
Yeah,
here.
York being so confident. I mean, Seun being in his position, just holding the entire A space. Trip and Viper Wall still being put. And Zuma
Bring them down.
dogging this info. Catching, but he's too far. He can't get to cover. And Slinga dashing forward. Haruhiro. Seun picking off the spike. They know both players are here. Bomb being tapped. Doors being open. And Slinga opting to go towards A heaven. Seun possibly still unaware. Thinking that they could still be on B. There's a timing here for Slinga. He sees the TP. He knows Chamber was Link.
Player standing.
He still gets caught out. And Haruhiro getting a pick. Has ult. Didn't get to use it. I mean, this is looking dangerous. Peep should still have blind here. Ulting for the information. Knowing that Cypher's on site. Trading back the information. Haruhiro trying to play Ring Around a Rosie. Play the time. Play off the audio.
Oh, they heard them both drop.
Doesn't take the timing. Both players on York getting close towards the bomb, thinking that he's treed. Smoke getting committed. Bomb is tapped. Brayden sticking to half. Our hero, he's on the bomb. Can't shoot. And Peep getting his third of the round. That's another York retake win.
That becomes 10-10. Everything dead even. Suddenly things are not looking good at all if you're on the other side of Western. I mean, they were in a great position. Remember, at one point this game was 6-1, and since then, well, streaks nonetheless. So Lions showing that this pride has gone nowhere, and this is a very necessary round for success. Siyun is going to go over from their up to, well, the friend shop. The big baguette pops out. They're going to be at least strangulating this choke position, and they throw a golden bullet into the face of Elvis. They're going to try and do it again. Brayden is going to escape, and they will cover their exit. Oh my goodness. You keep challenging it up. Siyun is auto aim. He's got 3, maybe trying to do a 4th. That's going to be a rob that ends a reign of tyranny. It is just a tough entry, and they only lost the Frenchman. That's 11-10 now, as the Lions are just eating up these Mustangs.
Yeah, going into a week bye now too. I mean, you're gonna have to ask yourselves, what can we do to make sure that, you know, if we're preventing that 12, that match point, that series point, is it gonna be this round, or are we gonna try to bank for a later round? I mean, week bye. Chamber also on the side of York being repositioned now to A after terrorizing on C. Trying to get an early call to counter this Western take. Conditioning the dog again, you know, information, trying to get a timing, but Siyun getting the opening pick onto Slinga, getting more information off the jump peak in the smoke, pushing him off. Elvis though getting close, getting nice and personal, ulting.
Whoa! Oh!
Catching Siyun, not catch. Oh, but still securing the pick. Nading off Heaven, and Haru Hero is getting inserted into Secret. They know it's a 4v4, but Zuma catching Elvis on the aggressive peak. Fatal being committed. They know one's on site. But are they aware that Haru Hero is on his flank? On default. Getting punished. Doggo trying his best to burn some information.
Last player standing.
Viper ult being committed. Zangy hitting an insane shot. Zuma cleaning up. Such, I mean, the coordination from York. I thought Haru Hero was going to get a little more value there. I mean, they just weren't sticking initially, but the Viper ult being committed and Jiangyi just being so aware, hitting the insane shot.
Match point.
I know
Now
they
it's series point.
I know they ended
York.
up dying, but can we give credit to Siyun on that jump off rope? You're
Yeah.
being tracked by that showstopper, and you're just like, not today, jumping over it and off of Heaven, trying to be able to reach out into that fight was kind of nuts. And now we've got the Lions on championship point here for CIE 2026. Just one last step to be able to get the job done. It is a full bundle. It might get bungled here. They tag at least one. Too many targets. Right on this talk screen, Oh Zengi wants to punish them all.
Yeah, playing behind this Viper wall. Fatal being committed by Zangy, not getting his. Peep trading back, and Arav getting 2 more. 4v2 for Western, leading the charge, running it down A. And the players from York trying to scramble, trying to reconvene onto this A retake. Bomb being planted, Slinga
Spike planted.
spotted towards backside, and Brayden trying to take his timing with the drop. Chamber being spotted onto stairs. Brayden catches one, but Elvis trades him back. It's all onto Siyun, and he looks like he's just gonna try to save this. Yeah, getting away with the op. I mean, 11-12 for Western. A really great start. It looked like Zhangyi was ready to just, you know, release the chaos there. Getting shut down though.
So it becomes one last chance now for Western to maybe force overtime. Can you believe it here, Justin? Western overtime
Lotus
on a
overtime.
Lotus?
I've never
Yeah.
seen it. Never.
Not once in my life. So Can they find an initial read this side of Western to at least get away from early first picks out of Siun? They've been pretty decent for it, and they've been trying to switch it up from across this map. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they start tilting B a little bit. They will bundle, same thing that they've had all those other rounds, onto A. And I feel like they honestly could delay that early dump of the paint shells and more, but this is it. For all the marbles, do we go to OT, or do we see this one simply end here in 24 rounds? They're going to put that one way out. Peepa's going to pop out their dark cover. And Peepa's actually already popped early secret, as everyone's trying to at least proposition for going out towards this main side of A.
Yeah, Western being really aggressive on the space retake, getting all their utility out, but making sure they have that initial A control, but no lurks. I mean, it looks like they're trying to end onto A here. The rest of York slowly catching on. Braden rotating away now from C, and Fade, Zuma getting ready to double up with Jiangyi on this backside. Western just taking a pause, cutting noise, trying to cause some sort of confusion now for York. You know, especially for them, having given up C. They may be down on information, but they're not too adamant on leaving yet. The bot possibly clearing, only one player shooting. Still not enough for York to confirm a rehit, but the Raze bot and the Fade Dog being used, but Raze getting out. Elvis catching Braden, seeing the Heaven player, knowing one's backside.
30 seconds
Oh, big swing! Showstopper. Oh, they can't get it done. That's a 2-second delay.
It's 3v3.
They have 15 seconds.
Zuma just holding his backline with the op. I mean, they're ulting. They're trying to secure bomb down now. The Fade side, they're coming in. Early swing from Elvis, catching Zuma off guard. 3v2 for Western. York and Siun and Peep taking his backside control, and everybody on Western just taking a step back into tree. Cam close to bomb. Door being popped. They know they can't be close main yet. It's not really planning for them. Peep trying to get an early angle. Punishing our hero. Siun's on the bomb. Didn't get half.
They have to threaten it.
Oh, but Sling and Elvis just great coordination. It's going to overtime with Western on defense.
Last time we saw this go, it was 4 times. We went 32 rounds. And just when you thought it was all over, oh, it is not. We could be hitting the old midnight oil here on the East Coast, but there's still time to see whether or not that's going to happen. 25-15 is Slinga. Just behind them, their teammate, and Elvis is 23-17. Peep at 25-19, but it's going to boil down to just what happens in bonus time of Valorant. Game number 3 is lurking around the corner. A lot of you play on Haven. A lot of you have seen too much of Haven. Some of you want to see this go to Haven. For a few of us, well, definitely game number 2 has been able to be brought to a boil. So, first of this iteration, we go right back to whence we came and started. Braden and company want to test the waters, but this time they're going to do it a little bit more honestly towards A. They did kind of set up for a C push last time that they were sitting it with it, and Doggo's just going to chill, and they're actually in counter opposite with their other Omen main. So, going to make life a little bit difficult to get over the line.
Yeah, York getting this insert into tree. I mean, Haru Hero stuck on site, positioning himself and drop. He's thinking there could be a chance they might pop here any second. He doesn't want to be any part of it. They decide to blind backside. And there it is, the blind being committed. Raze getting out. Arav trying to get this possible walkout, but Peep shutting him down. Braden getting the pick on the lurk. And Haru Hero making so much noise in dirt. Getting one in the jiggle. Trying to get Siun, getting 2. And now it's just Zuma on the site. 1v1ing him. It's a 3v3. But Hario still stuck in drop, being held by an Odin. The jump peak goes out, no shots. Peep shutting downstairs. Zuma not getting the third. It's 2v2. Several getting popped. It's planning for the main, but players. Peep catching off guard. Haru Hero, an overtime ace. The anchor on A.
Our hero is the doorman. They are the landlord. They own this property. No one is allowed for free to exist here. And off of that performance, that may be just enough of a galvanization point to really propel Western into a game number 3 with a lot of momentum. Last time we saw them do that, it took over Pearl. That won't be our next map. It could be the same sort of treasure that they pick up along the way. Oh my goodness, this CIE is definitely coming down to the wire here for the Valorant tournament. But Lions have a lot still to perform. Lift and left. Sling and company on this attack. This is where they've struggled before, but I mean they had a great hit whenever they were doing it just a little bit ago.
Yeah, Western really like to opt for this B hit. Essentially, it all came down to the retakes coming from York, but they're still winning a lot of rounds. Slinger spotting Braden, and Molly being shot out, and Slinger getting caught on the early dash. No other player being able to get out. They know at least 2 players are still indoor, but they're still unaware of this possible A-lurk. Seun with the op, catching Doggo, not TPing, looking for more. Seeing Haruhiro on the jump peak, but Haruhiro running away, has no part in trying to fight Seun. 3v5 for Western. Zuma punishing Elvis, stuck towards door. And Ziangi being aware of this possible rewalk, taking some advantage, getting the off angle. Not getting Haruhiro, but to 1v4. Every single York player running towards the noise. Keep holding the open angle, up and down with Zuma. Zuma running away, not trying to give Haruhiro another chance. But if there's anyone that can clutch this round, it'll be Haruhiro.
Again, they own Hut. They've had a lot of work here. Oh boy, but do they have a lot of tough angles to have to cover? They find one. That was very well communicated by out of York to both of them pop around that angle together. So sometimes it just takes that double stack communication. So we go to a double overtime. It's never just going to be one.
Yeah, this is
Switching sides.
looking a little far too familiar. I mean, the amount of patience that has been gone through this game. I mean, essentially, Western has been playing for just over 4 hours at this point. And York, being fresh, just playing their second map of the day, should be keeping up more, but the energy, this is where all it lands. And Western, if they want to make sure they can get this third map in, they need to finally show that they can win these attack rounds and defense rounds consistently. Getting the early pressure now, Western taking that early space while York opt for a 4-man B start. Clearing out the default space. Trying to possibly break trip. Now they're leaning towards the door angle, thinking that someone could be pushed up. Cypher having no trips here. Only the cages. The blind in the eye, getting pushed. Pushing the defenders away. Doggo already in waterfall. Trades to go out. Seun getting one, tipping away Doggo. Punishing Peep on the high angle, 3v3. Seun looking for more. Doggo and Arav on up and down. But Seun shutting down Arav. Braden getting hits. 3v1 all into Doggo, and Braden cleaning up. On to series championship
Switching sides.
point for York.
Match point.
Lions have finally tilted the entire deck in their favor. Gonna be able to get the rest of this put away. Braden and company defensively have been pretty decent in recency. They will bury that actually as a very deep angle talk screen. So they may use that as kind of a early way to gain some ground, but you see this again as a lean that they bring more of their players over towards mid. No, they're gonna bring that 3 stack. They just don't have the same kind of double grab. They're gonna put the ult, or rather they're gonna put the haunt, they're gonna put the extra paint shells, and they want to put Seun in a dangerous position, especially from off of this rendezvous. But recognizing the talk screen is there, they're gonna TP through it directly. They're gonna go to make that challenge. Doggo doesn't see anyone on the double stack. Seun might be able to get themselves a free pick depending on if they find the old cowed player themselves first. Now they gotta be thinking about what the rest of this duel is gonna be. So they're gonna go back to secret. Solid work, and we go back even now 4-4 as Slinga and company hit the ground running.
Yeah, really good pressure from Western. 50 seconds on the clock, and they're just taking their time on hitting the site. York getting really familiar again. The Zuma and Seun getting onto backside. But Western are slowly walking up. They're not speeding up here. Taking a contact, punishing Zuma on the angle. Seun getting his, but Slinger trading back. That's a 3v2 with Brayden. Super early, away from Peep. Slinger making noise. Calling him off the line. 2 players in tree for Western, and Haruhiro playing close, playing off his cam. And Brayden right behind him. They're not looking at each other. What is happening? The blind coming out. Haruhiro, your team.
Oh, he's about to
Punishing.
get scanned.
Peep off the bomb with the shorty, and he gets oh my gosh, Haruhiro securing the attack round for Western. I mean, at first it looked like he made a mistake not clearing behind him, but just keeping the control.
When I
Wow.
tell you, when I say Haruhiro owns A site, they own A site. Okay? That's just it. That's fact. That's reality. That's physics. Okay? It's science. They own the land rights, the mineral rights, they own the rights, and all of it. So Haruhiro continues to just be someone that goes from hero to 100 to 0, just consistently taking people out. Now for the Lions, they've seen glory slip through their paws. Give themselves a moment of pause as they swing open door, and it looks like they're just going to try and trample over into A. Oh, but that's going to be Elvis that's going to at least take care of Brayden and company. See if they kind of run with the rest of that as they set up a decoy.
York losing their Viper lurk, all extended onto this A side, opting for this B hit now with Omen trying to split them onto B. And they're getting a lot of information. I mean, Zangi getting this timing. And York recognizing it. Zangi hearing the players, catching one. Ray fan trying to fight him off the line. The satchel coming out, but the movement winning the fight onto Zangi. But Seun, another lurk coming out, jiggling from Sherman, punishing him. Back to a 3v3 onto B. Zuma catching Haruhiro on the swing.
30 seconds left. Spike planted.
Initially a 5v3. Now Western trying to see if they can get a pick back. So separated. Seun getting shut down by Slinger. It's a 2v2. Still split. But the Odin posted up onto the C-link angle. And Peep just playing off the noise. Peep getting caught. Zuma turning away from the C-link fight. Slinger catching him. They know his last player's main. Slinger dashing away. And Irate fan getting Peep. The numbers advantage just being swung on either side throughout the entire round. But it's Western ending up onto map point.
The absolute distraction there, Justin. For they sent one, I think, haunt from out of heaven on B, and then they walk backwards towards an unknown area of Link because they don't want to be spotted as they drop down, and that gives them no fight to deal with Slinga. So Zuma kind of losing focus, and well, provided there's a lot of sound and distraction as to some of the pressure that was being pushed against Peep. So again, what is this now? Triple overtime? Yeah. First round of that one. 4 stack. Why not? From out of the Lions. And they may actually run this one all the way up in the link. They may take that fight immediately.
Yeah, Western being up around here, not wanting any chances to try and, get caught here. Slowly deciding to make their way towards Brayden. Dog clearing close. Well, York, 3-man pressing onto that trip. Haruhiro all alone on B. Brayden mollying, trying to get some pick. And Haruhiro getting caught. Trading back Seun. Getting Haruhiro and Brayden left 1 HP. And Western can still pressing onto the CT fight. Bomb being planted. The spam from Fade. Not catching anything. Just giving Irafan a haircut. Doggo up close and personal with Zuma.
Oh no. Oh,
The high
what?
thrown, but the Odin still securing picks at 2v2, both towards CT. Western trying to fight back. Zuma getting the pick, the eyes being thrown. Peep I mean, these rounds, the defensive retake potential. I mean, for all of these teams today, no one can win an attack round right now. We are in quadruple overtime.
All right. Just so we're all aware, last time we were in quadruple overtime of a Lotus, Western won. So I hope you're ready for a map number 3, if that's to occur. It's the whole 2 nickels things and a bit of Doofenshmirtz. It might happen twice. I might have 10 cents here pretty soon. So 32 rounds. Does it end here? Do we decide to set a record? CIE, I don't know what the longest map they've ever played is, but we're trying to match up to it. That's a quick trade. Peep and Siyun, good to at least clear a couple, as they want to tackle B. And be open and honest about it. Braden is shutting down Slinga. This one's gone fast in the first 20 seconds.
Yeah, Western being put in the back burner, but you still have our hero alive who came back onto these rounds before. But Braden coming back onto this late C hit, they may be unaware. York playing super passive, knowing that they're up 2 players. They're taking their time in this fight. Braden just sneaking, being caged off now on main. The bomb being tapped. I mean, you have to get them off, but Braden not killing our hero. Our hero getting 2, not getting the 3rd, but the bomb is stuck. Again, what is happening? I mean, yes, I did say that our hero, you know, he's come back many times before, but I mean, watching it watching it come to fruition is a different feeling. I mean, 4v2 for York, but the rounds went to Western. It's 16-15. Map point.
This is where it ended last time.
A 5th OT. You're right. This is extremely similar to before.
Do we see a quintuple OT? We'll be finding out here soon. Siyun is able to find at least one trade as Elvis hits the old toilet and ends up dying there. They will be able to use that trademark, and rather that rendezvous, to get themselves out of dodge. But this is an early rotation. They thought that this was going to be fully committed. They rejoin. It's a 2v4. All the numbers resting in place in favor of Western. They have everything by design to be able to make this one work. Zuma's got an Odin. That didn't work out last time. We'll be able to see if this one ends up going the right way. The Mustangs simply have to run as a herd together. Cyber Cage. Oh, can they squeak through? Oh, they touch it. All right, so that should give some audible intel. You're gonna split forces.
Spike planted.
Nightfall will give them away, so they're gonna have all eyes look towards north. But Siyun wants to be that dagger in the night to try and stab him in the back. They got 3 targets. They land at least 1. There goes their teammate, and we're going to game number 3. Quad OT. Guaranteed dubs for Western on Lotus.
Another 17-15 map from Lotus, from Western. I mean, I'm not even surprised. I think the MVP on that game, yeah, undoubtedly Haru Hero. Just insane individual plays. I could count, you know, maybe 6 rounds that he just had insane impacts single-handedly, just winning them those rounds. And the amount of defensive wins on both sides of the team, just insanity. I mean, York looked like that they had it, and they were really close, but just that flip side and them losing the numbers in that last round, not able to secure it. And now we're gonna be going to another map. Another 3-site map onto Haven.
Folks, I am so happy that you're all here to witness this. We've got some great collegiate Canadian catastrophe and content and contest all going on right in front of your very eyes. We're going to be taking ourselves a short break. Justin, you and I are here for the long haul. Who knew that a couple of these matches will be going so far? Will it be a sprint? Will map number 3 provide us maybe a little bit of fervor? Or is this one going to go even further? All of you out there in Canadian land, we'll get to find out together at CIE 2026, and we'll be back right after this. Back into it. The grand finals have hit the pinnacle. A climax must be found, and all of you are here to bear witness to it. I'm Hail Monkey Man in the booth alongside Justin, and all of you have been listening to our voices for about 4.5 hours. Well, we've got maybe a whole other one left to go. It is game 3. It is Haven. The most played map in the entirety of this tournament is about to rear its beautiful and perhaps, depending on who you are, ugly head as we go into yet another. But here's the copium, and here's where we sit. It's the last game, regardless of where we stand. But I mean, Justin, this has gone deep. We've seen now 8 overtimes from Western. All of them were on Lotus. We finally go to a different 3-side map, Haven. Got to see how this one all turns out as they aim to subdue the Lions.
Yeah, I mean, going into Haven, you want to see these agents coming in. We're seeing a strong Cypher pick from Haruhiro again. We saw how much value he got in that last game. He wants to continue on that. Everybody else following through. Zuma staying on the scan. We have Peep back onto the Omen. Doggo continuing with that same pick. Looking a little similar to pretty much what they've been running before, but this time, a Rate is being on Jet and Slinga opting to go back onto Reyna, kind of like what they were running onto Breeze.
Also, to any of you that were looking forward to it, and Mediavelli, shout out to our observers and all from our production. Happy Mother's Day. We've made it. We just hit midnight on the East Coast. So We walk into this one. I am a little concerned whenever the last time that we had some random play, it didn't exactly go to full function out of Western. It took a long time for that really to ramp up. But the main thing, if you're a Western fan, Haro Hero continues to be Cypher. That may be all they need to get the job done. So can Doggo and the rest of the Mustangs make it work? Do the Lions bring it full tilt, especially from an attacking half that this one, I think by like a 2%, 3% shade is favored onto this map as a nice starter kit. I'm surprised actually to see Siyun still to the chamber. I mean, maybe not at this point because they literally locked in chamber the entirety of this, but feels like it's not the full effect that you would usually see on this Haven.
Yeah, I mean, not in the last year, but in a recent LAN, I've actually played against York with this.
Okay.
Having a lot of history on, especially with their previous series on the first day playing Haven. This is something that they've been practiced a lot. This is, you can tell already, walking up early on this short wall. Doggo, not knowing that they make 4 plays, getting caught out, not getting his, and now York continuously to speed up. 2 players though, even 3 players on the side of Western being here, but the trades falling forward. It's a 2v3. Charmaine though holding the bomb, and Siyun taking his time to refight, asking his teammates to come back. And Elvis getting caught, put in his corner. 2v1 in this fight. And Haru Hero, it's all onto him.
They've got a classic, they got a shield, and they have 2 players that are either going to re-hit this one or walk away. And Haru Hero already deciding they're going to play this one cheeky. They want to, if they end up swinging all the way from backside sewer, this would be absolutely funny. But they may try to counter read some of that. They are looking towards long. So this will at least give away the first one. They know where they are. So this comes down to who's able to swing first around this box. And of course, Haru Hero with the clutch up. Because why wouldn't they?
Another clutch from Haru Hero. I mean, continuing from the last game. Super dominant on this Cypher. Jangy trying to plant, being 1 HP, just getting caught out. It's a really good stack as well from Western. Having the 4 players to meet that 4-man walk up from York. But York really do still need to take their time. This comp that they play, I mean, in my experience, they really do try to work their lurks a lot longer. So Western continue to stay patient, making sure that they don't give up any early picks. It's gonna be a long game, but it's gonna be a game they're gonna need to win if they want this championship.
Plays one pretty deep. I do appreciate teams playing with the ebb and flow of positioning off of either taking a bit more of mid and the other line, but also playing it far further if they need to. Oh, we're gonna lose that one. A nice dink and then a follow-up by Braden. They're looking to pick up that Spectre and then a right click because reasons. Braden finds a twofer. They want to toss it over their teammate. They're doing just enough with that classic. So that's a ruinous couple of kills. Slinga at least gets Braden now out of the ring. Becomes a 2 versus 3, but this has a chance to be an eco break in favor of the Lions. There was a chance.
Yeah. It started
was.
looking like that way, but Slinga just continuing that back pressure, making sure that the picks are being easily taken. Getting 3 guns for the bonus as well. I mean, at Rayfan in the beginning, recognizing early on, this is not a site I want to be on, dashing so fast, and Haru Hero giving up his life, thinking he had a timing. It looked like York did have that round under check, but Western just so composed. But these are the rounds where you need to make sure that you are composed, because York is looking to start their rampage, being on a gun round.
Cerebral moments as well for this side of York, because they recognize when they start off a little bit behind and then kind of remind themselves, oh wait, some of these lurks and some of these lanes are going to be a little bit different. Quick Bucky Gaming, make it 3. Not going to quite get the slingshot off of that one, but Rav is still arrived over into this corner. They've got all of 1 shot off of TP, and they can't quite land the rest of that BB, but that does do some damage. They put him to half strength. It is a 2 versus 3 on the lesser end of this arsenal. Braden knows that 1 man just went by up into heaven. Haruhiro is left on an island just chilling. I think they're playing like Animal Crossing or something. So there goes Doggo. And this is A site for free.
Yeah, just a normal buy round. Well, Haruhiro can't count him out. A gun
Nope.
in backside and Peep giving him the chance to get the gun. No way, right?
You say right. I say I have no clue. Oh, okay. One extra step. That little dance move maybe saved Peep's life and maybe some extra curse words on the other side of it. They find a 3K and Haruhiro for the first time in what feels like forever is not allowed to be the actual hero.
2-1 now for Western. York looking to make sure they can keep that round win and consistently win some rounds. The Viper wall here is getting a lot of attention from Western, but this round they're deciding to opt out of that because they've realized they're getting punished. They're deciding instead for a 3-man up down onto this B window angle, who Peep and Seun might be ready for. They know the TP went across, but Seun punishing Slinga, getting the pick back, and Doggo following up onto Seun. That's 2 picks for Western. And Zhangyi getting caught out by Elvis. All up to Brayden and to Zuma on York. So much map pressure from Haruhiro, controlling the C angle, controlling garage. Brayden getting his, but Slinga trading back. It's all onto Zuma. Timing the Cypher util.
Oh.
Is he gonna catch Doggo here? Yes, he does. 2v1. Western split, trying to run. Hearing the bomb tap. The noise. Everyone knows he's close to CT, but Elvis being aware, loses the fight. It's a 1v1 and Slinga in garage. He doesn't know where Zuma could be.
You just walk this out to A.
I think they're asking the same question.
All right, gang. I have a lot of time. I could either go A with just enough time. I can go
30
back to
seconds
C.
Both of them just not moving, and they move at the same time. There is some sort of invisible string from the observer right now, just forcing these players to move accordingly. But the noise from Sova trying to get that information, and Slinga where he's planning backside, taking his time. Spike committed. Slinga walking, but not going through. Zuma getting the timing. He got to CT. Slinga unaware if he's still close backside or if he walked out. The bomb is planted for him, and Zuma playing so deep now. Taking his time to clear backside.
Back there.
Opting to tap. He knows Zuma can only be CT. The drone coming out. But he's not on the bomb. Tapping. Zuma making noise. Slinga getting off. Zuma trying to force him off the line, but he doesn't get him. 3K for Slinga. Left one shot off to equalize, but it's 3-1 for Western.
You know that it's been a long day when our observer is telling us paid actors acting in concert with one another. So
I mean, just the
3-1.
fact they both stopped moving, and as soon as one moved, the other did. I mean, these guys are like soulmates right now, just having the response to each other.
The red thread of fate just tied around their pinkies. All right, so good focus out by defense. So Western squad showing up. They're going to use that Hunter's Fury, and they're going to try and burst onto scene. They don't get to that double site. Just walking in, Golden Ghost Man teleports in, sacrifices their jet. Haruhiro can't see nothing. So they thought better, didn't get a pick, and they have to walk away. In fact, there was just a trade of 4. So the Empress online as well. Slinga, they don't wear that crown any further. So promising situation off of this attack as they try to clear Haruhiro, who eventually sees. No, they get great. What? Haruhiro still good for a 3-piece, and it becomes one Russian man versus another as they try to get Zuma, but Zuma was just here literally a second ago.
Yeah, being in that same position, around the same timeline too, but this time opting for an A push instead, and Elvis kind of reading that response, but slowly working it back towards B instead. Zuma just full on committing on this A plant. And Elvis, he hears that plant, he's knife out running. trying to get the timing. Sova on Sova action. Zuma unaware that he could already be close spawn, but taking his time. Elvis knife out, just so aware that he can be short. And he's slowly walking up. Zuma, you're being hunted.
What? It's an interesting position to play off of that plant because you're trying to play so much decoy of it being for Link Heaven and maybe kind of a long part of that mid geometry. You just went all the way down to that Link. Like Elvis was like, nope. We share the same brain cell right now. I'm finding you.
Yeah, and that's a 4-1 lead now for Western. I mean, you're looking. Yeah, I was gonna say you're looking at a bleak attack half to start off, but even despite the low weaponry going into an eco buy, they're calling a timeout. You know, trying to smooth out the chinks in their armor right now because Western, they've just been dominating these early fights as well. I mean, Haruhiro somehow getting 3 on that site after being seen by the chamber, and the chamber teeping away on him. So now it's all up to York to try and get some rounds back so that they can stay into this championship.
And it's not like we haven't seen them do that before. They've gone streaks much the same way that we've seen the build up from out of Western. So anything but over and anything but out of sorts. But this Haven's so far looking really decent off of a fantastic second quadruple overtime dub. I was hoping that we go to quintuple just because reasons. I want to see even more, but I really didn't. We got a pit online. We got Blade Storms that will be available if either side really wants to invest into them. Shout out over to our observers, by the way, giving us all these scenic shots that all of you get to enjoy. Got a neural theft that could be actuated by Haruhiro. So a lot of good information in general. So the defense will pop up. In fact, we got a lot of knives. Someone bust open the old kitchen drawer, and apparently the kids decided to put their hands in and find a whole bunch of them. So they're going to pretend that they can fly, and then they're going to cut them down from behind as Harav gets rid of Zangi.
York deciding to speed up now off that pick, but Doggo on a high angle, catching people off guard, catching Zuma, looking for more. Brayden shutting him down. 4v2 for Western. Suyun tapping the bomb, trying to force an early peek from Haruhiro, but nothing to fruition. Committing the plant down now, and Charmaine just trying to get some value out of his shock darts. But Western speeding up off this drone, spotting Chamber. Chamber getting one, but Arav trading back. It's all into Brayden, who has a Bucky, close orb, picks up a Phantom. Bomb getting stuck backside, getting one, but not getting Elvis on top of the middle of the site. Now it's a 5v1. I mean, low buy from York, but that's not a round that you want to lose in that fashion. Just not being able to clear that close top angle. Getting punished.
Walk me through it right now. You go through a timeout. You know that you're behind 4-1, and you've played some pretty deep games, especially the most recent one, going into game number 3. Does exhaustion truly hit you at this point? Especially if you're York, you had to wait out this match. But how much of that really starts kind of leaning into you?
I think it definitely does play an insane factor. I would say more so for the last game. You know, you would think every round was in York's favor, but the individual plays from Western, I mean, those are kind of plays that don't really take a lot of mental power. It's more just star power, if anything, that brings that to fruition. But York, you know, definitely trying to scramble their minds together to try and find rounds that are super favorable, just to lose in those fashions. That's kind of thing that, you know, will drain your team of energy. But still, looking aggressive, looking fierce, making a 4v4. Zangi getting caught by the tripwire, getting picked off, and a Sova ult on, pushing away York. Elvis getting his, but Peep trading back our hero. That's a 1v3. All of Western grouping back. Elvis joining out for the front site, and Slinga holding the garage peak, shutting him down. That's 3 for Slinga on the round.
Solid work to protect them as well, because they knew that they were going to be exposed as they sent out the owl drone, just finding where in the world they were. 6-1. I think the worst position that we saw this squad at was in fact a 6-1. Able to draw it back to even heal for the most part. It's been a while since we were there, though. And again, a tough obstacle for this Western side to really overcome. They get, they get 7, but it's truly past the 6. They're gonna super stack this this long A position. Kind of a cutesy quick ricochet from off of that recon dart. No one gets scanned, but because of the talk screen, oh, there's 2 targets, too many. Slinga finds a couple. That's gonna be Elvis doing the same thing as Zuma hits the floor. That's a lot of fist fighting. Too many guns to have to handle. So the defense is looking for some work. Doggo's gonna try and press out early. They're gonna disrespect this. They're not gonna let that Viper pit stand for long.
1v2, Her Hero getting that early information, spotting Peep onto short, blinding but switching him off, but he's being held by Doggo. Doggo doesn't get the shot on Peep, but Her Hero trades back. 7-1 for Western. It is looking nowhere near as close as the last 2 maps. I don't know. It could be exhaustion. It could just be the individual differences. I mean, Doggo just not caring about the Viper ult, pressing his face into Brayden's and coming out alive.
That's the toughest position to really kind of exist in, because as a Viper, so much of your patience game kind of goes into, all right, where do I want to set this up? Is this a good time to be able to finally be able to plant it out and use up my Viper pin and see if that works? The best thing to work against that, as well as working against kind of a Nightfall, disrespect the spacing that you're trying to gain from some of those wider ultimates. It doesn't work very well into Rolling Thunders, but for that one where it's much more sightline based, take them down, chop them. You're a lumberjack there, the wood, and get that axe all sharpened up. So 7-1, good old Brazil gang. Send the Frenchman flying as Her Hero defends their homeland here on Seaside. Siyun is down in distance, and a lot of this is creeping over towards A, and look how, because of that pressure towards C, they've drawn this early rotate towards this A link.
And York finally getting this A control that they've been striving to get, having this 5v5 retake. I've seen in previous maps they were able to hold this position pretty much every single time. They never lost out, but this is Western we're talking about, a defensive team. Zuma shutting down Elvis on the 7 angle, getting the man advantage, getting more information off the drone. And now it's Western seeing the speed up, getting pushed back by the Viper Orb. Zuma getting more onto that heaven angle, and it's looking rough. Western deciding to retake. I mean, this is the kind of hold that I saw from York before. Once you get into those positions, the Viper Orb is being up. You're not able to run out at all and keep blinding as well.
This one will go the right way for the Lions. They're going to be able to break through. And I mean, hey, if you put an Odin on a Sova, hopefully things go the right way for you. We've seen that not happen in favor of Zuma, but they do find a second one. So a promising return to form. They can't go even Stevens through the first half. They can maybe get this one back to an old 5 set. Now, if we look to the economy, you've got an Empress that can be popped, and that's exactly why, you kind of walk that Reyna. You can have some of these lighter shields and build up into an overheal. But, I mean, not exactly what you have to deal with right now, because you're fairly rich to a degree. It's actually the team that's 7 that has way worse in terms of creds.
And Elvis, despite being on Silva, is still opting for that judge.
Oh yeah.
You've seen him make those plays, getting into these niche spots, and Brayden could fall victim here. It's a straight default now for York, inserting the Viper player into short. The rest of the players just spread out onto mid, seeing if they can get any player to attack. The dart landing onto Slinga, spotting him. Omen and Zangi spotting him, but Slinga punishing, getting the Omen TP. Zuma catching it back now to 3v3. Brayden not knowing Elvis is still here. Oh
Next
no. Are we gonna see a knife? He's just trigger disciplining. What is Elvis doing? He just shuts him down, and Zuma getting a false information that A was clear. Is now stuck. 3-pronged attack. Every single player on Western catching him. Her Hero knowing a victim is coming his way. But the op cleans up 8-2 for Western. I mean, Elvis honestly had the big brain play there having Brayden give false communications to Zuma, forcing Zuma into that position and getting punished for it. Can we also look at how many retakes, how many post plants Western has won? Is there a counter for this entire tournament on how many rounds they have won as a retake? They have to be clearing the second team by like double at this point.
Because I think they had 5 on their defensive half when we saw them earlier on that Lotus, but then they played 4 overtimes, so they won at least 3 or 4 of those defensive halves, I think. So, yeah. So that was like 9 and one single retake. Oh my goodness, Slinga and Arav looking far more than decent. Oh, and they hit it straight through the heart that time around. Get him the little wiggle as they step away from Zengi. This one's DOA, but Peep is good for a couple in the bag. Zuma continues to simply have a love affair with Anoden as they walk it up. But as they have Spike, you can't keep everyone here for free. Doggo does at least clear them from corner. So 9-2 as we head into the end point of this first half.
I mean, so much fast engagements being taken. This is, I think, could be a sign of the exhaustion that we were talking about before. You know, you would usually think that the rounds would go a lot slower, especially on the side of York trying to play this double controller out. But Western staying true to the way that they played this, most of their maps, just continuously being aggressive with the double duelist and just getting so much value now out of this op and being up 7 rounds. I mean, how would do the same? Arab just continuously pressing, poking, knowing now that there's no one mid, so getting the information, winning this fight on to Brayden, Charmaine stopping some of the youth, slowing down the long push, getting dashed out on, but still getting Seun, getting traded out. Promise kept though. Yangi getting 2, making it 3v3.
Seun left part of their vest behind just before they teleported away to safety. Well, teleported away, and the body and corpse left over. So Zuma, oh, they get some target acquisition. They know at least someone's around that link. They were hoping to trick them, but technology ends up reigning supreme. You're gonna honest hit, making sure to clear this corner, as they do have hell control, and Haruhiro is gonna at least aim to swing from out from this window. Paranoia hits nobody. They clear 1. Oh my, a 3K from out of at least 1 as they pop down, become a pinata. It's a 1v1. Haruhiro, they've been a hero before. They're gonna tap this one for all of a second. They get scanned, and they're gonna force them to just die with them.
Zuma winning that clutch, flipping back the first series, or the first map of the series. This time Western with a 9-3 lead on to the attacking half for Haven. I mean, super favorable. You have so many rounds to work with. I think attacking on this map too is, again, super favored for you as a double duelist, but we can't count out the Viper comp. York in previous times have seen a strong defensive half, but with the map, with the series, with the championship in the line, being down 6 rounds, are you able to keep that sort of, you know, mental clarity, and of course the mechanics not falling short, to ensure that this comeback can be possible?
Seun has to be just as lethal as they were on Lotus right here, right now. If you're going to be basically going into kind of double long lane sniper situations off of your chamber and off of your jet, that better be finding massive value, and I better be seeing headshots collected like it's your career. Slinga wants to find at least a piece of this link because they want to tackle B. Only about 1 or 2 times was B the main source and target for the Lions. Defensively, they may have to retake, and they're actually going to swing this one out long. Haruhiro has window control. Seun gets rid of at least 1, but Brayden finds some vengeance for them, so the numbers in line with York. Oh, just as that dark cover goes down, Doggo. Now all of the rest of Western is starting to fall very quickly. Dominoes on the table. It's bones about it.
Pistol for the side of York. This game, I really can't say it's still going to be towards Western. I mean, we've seen the flips, and York showing that they're still in this contention. I mean, you do understand what's good to see is that you know, with the Reyna, with the Jet, this is a traditional like ranked pick, you know. This is the kind of strat or comp that you would expect pretty much any sort of situation you have played hundreds of times before, especially to these players. So you really just have to believe in the strength of your setup and try to understand the reaction that Western will be doing. For here, just opting on a normal 4-man walk up, Zuma getting the information. You know, with the guns being so bad for Western, they need to make sure that their numbers and try to overwhelm York. But York just keeping their distance. Yang getting greedy, seeing 2, trying to get his, getting 1, dashing away. It's a lot of value. And Peep throwing a smoke over. Back on position. Jack, 1 HP. Western have no answer right now. And Tune in the backstab position, catching the bomb.
Spike down A.
Still 1 more in this outlaw. Brayden catching the window player now. Peep looking to get his as well. Brayden coming out of garage instead.
Last player
He catches
standing.
Peep. Oh, Peep. Great turnaround. It's all onto Doggo. Classic only. I mean,
It's got him right where he
30
wants
seconds
him. At the other end of a round. Flawless found. As that one goes for Zangi, and finally Lions get themselves a couple in a row. So very strong bonus on the other end of this one. Buy-up round for Western.
This is the kind of round where it's definitely gonna be a momentum shifter. I mean, having all the 5 guns for York, if they win this, their economy is gonna be insane. They're gonna get Yoon probably still on the outlaw, but once they start getting shields back on an op on Western, they haven't shown much that they can, you know, overwhelm them on this map. I mean, again, with this comp, you're really going to be sticking to just pretty basic kind of control. But here, opting for the A long control, getting Sova off the line. But Peep taking such a fast timing off. This is Cam. Cam probably doesn't see him. Man, York trying to get some information. Catching the Jet off the line. But Peep just hiding behind. They know no one's mid, but everyone on York rotating early for this Jet. This Jet pulled so many players off, and it's just Brayden jiggling. Here's the drone now.
Ooh.
That's spotted, getting shot the molly, trying to stall for his teammates. The util pressing him, the cage coming out, but no running. And now Western, 45 seconds running. Peep in this position, hearing the rotates.
Don't dislike this. Oh,
York.
Peep.
He gets the timing. If he has no TPs. He has nothing for this.
Find one pick.
Slinga.
gets. They get rid of Siyun.
Getting the picks on the rest of the York players is only up to Peep now.
Player standing.
And Zuma. It turned into a 5v1.
Ow.
Zuma only getting 1. I mean, I guess it looked so telegraphed for York to get onto a site. I mean, Peep was getting so much information. But I guess the outlaw and the rest of the weapons were just not enough for York to capitalize on it.
And I do like the rotation. They took 2 long peeks. They left their Jet behind in that little pocket. And then they decided, okay, let's test C long. Drew out a bit of a util dump from off of Brayden. And then seeing how long they could be able to make a lot of this Lion defense set up, they decided to rotate back over and see if some of that full contact and chase down was going to pay off. Oh, big blind, big kills from off the defense from York, Peep and Siyun. Of the over-under from that window. 2 players out of the way from Western. So now you're left in a narrow passage to have to make things work. Do you either go towards B, which I really don't think is going to be their main priority. Probably shifting this one C, but they're going to see that trademark and they're immediately going to be apprehensive because they ain't got their duelists available.
York being really early on this initial A retake, now seeing the lurk smoke onto B, Jangy being a little careful about how having to stay into sight, opting to leave and playing retake. Our hero though and Omen not getting past that trip, still sort of scanning them. And Jangy Doubled with Brayden on the backside, getting ready for this possible walk up. Harry Hero making some noise trying to leave, but faking it for the C players. No one biting on it though. And Elvis just solo on this B hit. Gangy catching one, not catching the second, but Brayden trades him out. It's all onto Elvis, solo onto B. So many noise coming off from the A players, but Peep, so aware, catching Elvis. That's gonna put Western on a. Everyone has a decent buy except for Slinga.
Yeah, I think they buy here. I mean, there's a little bit of a conversation as to who's maybe going to buy for whom. And they decidedly say that they want to give it to Slinga and that Elvis will take the back seat in this one. That hot hand, even if Slinga has slowed down just a little bit, does rest with Slinga. And that is the tough part. Reyna as a responsive defending agent, solid. Attacking needs a little bit of extra support, and they're hoping to kind of craft some of that. Extra stack here in C-Long. Oh, they're sending them D. They will have one tripwire to at least delay them. This is a dash on to B. So Arav right around the corner. You'll be able to find contact. They get tagged by the trademark eventually. They don't clear. So Brayden gets rid of Elvis. Now they're being cut down as they're basically stuck on the front side of the site. Doggo does at least go Bucky Gaming. Azuma gets a bang off of him. And now this is all down to Hero, but Hero doesn't have enough time to put on the cape. So I think we need to start having a conversation about this one, Justin. It's looking eerily similar to the performance we saw Western put up in the first half.
Yeah, again, York, as I said before in previous maps, they have shown a strong defensive capability for this map. This is a map that, you know, so much history, so much time having competed with this comp. They know the ins and outs of this, and they are aware that, you know, you can't. Western's not doing anything different than what a ranked team would do, I would say, as it comes to taking the timings, taking some of these fights. So they just need to stay composed, making sure that they're winning the fundamental shots, getting the right information in the right places, and they're not fumbling on those calls. Pete being in this position, unable to see the front B players, but seeing the util, and Jet actually getting put into the smoke, not seen from the dart. There's a chance for him to make a play here. Peep getting spotted. What? But the Omen getting Jet still. So much shots on the side of York, punishing Western. I mean, what a great position for Zangi to be in. Not getting seen in Omen, unaware that a player could be there. I mean, dare I say, don't count her hero out.
It's happened too many times.
So, but I can't even bet on it. I can't bet against this guy anymore.
Oh.
Getting one on Suzuma.
What?
Getting. Okay. It took 4 to shut him down. At least they learned their lesson last time.
When you have to send your entire team,
They're treating him
know
like
you're going
LeBron
to
at this point.
sacrifice some guns just to take out one guy who has a bandit, which is a good gun. Like, to be fair.
The same value as 3 Vandals for York?
Apparently. Well, 10-8. And this one will be a telling round for us because if this ends up being a kind of a loss out, Western will be in the cycle of suffering, which they already have been for a little bit. And oh boy, I don't think raw peeking your way through a cyber cage is the way to do it. At least that's not how I would. But they do end up giving a couple out. Zuma's going to go for that shock dart, try to slow them down. And immediately from the shadows gets used to try and get some extra information. Now they aim to finally challenge C, maybe straight up. A couple of dark covers. You got the talk screen. Too many targets for Brayden to have to deal with as they move through from long. And this 3v3 now a little bit more in range for Western.
Also, Elvis having the solo here, opting to play for the long, leaving Doggo solo side. I should know. Harry here being close, but the blind, the dart being used, the counter blind being used, and the ult being used so early for the retake instead of the plant.
Oh.
Doggo catching Soon off guard. The bomb getting smoked by Peep. Zuma getting the picks. Dart though still up. The tap is being thrown out. They know Elvis is there, and they get the pick. York another round onto under the defense. It's 10-9.
Everyone, you guys can claim Caprixel on that one. Just, you know, just saying. Just, I refuse to explain further.
This is looking way too close to the first map. Just a flipped positions for either team. York this time just pulling the entire, all their energy now onto its defensive half, and Western still just not having an answer. I mean, that's as close as it was gonna get. And now they're looking for an eco round where York wants to really needs to equalize this.
Hope you guys are ready for 1 a.m. on East Coast. Oh, golden gun. Shablamo. There goes Elvis. They have left the building. Braden is going to retreat behind their talk screen. And this one was aimed to have a default. Well, those big bullets are pricey for a reason. Zuma ready to send up a little bird, but that drone is going to stay perched on their forearm for the time being. Oh boy. They've done this a few too many times, but that stinger, big value. Zangi's out. Braden is going to spin right out from their own poisons. That's why they're in the lab for so long. Oh, can't quite react in time. As Seun again lands on the mark. This defense knows against a lesser buy. Difficult to try and navigate around. So they're aiming for better days. And I got to wonder if a timeout's going to be around the corner here from the side of Western if this ends up being a 10-10.
Yeah, Bomb getting topped by Sling here, trying to show that some pressure here, trying to bait out some picks. With the blind being used on Peep and so much noise being thrown out. Peep catching him. Are they aware that Doggo's close here? It's all up to him. Yes, they are. Peep getting the second. It's a 10-10 equalizer. York, I mean, I would say just a few months ago when I played against them on this map, what I really liked and that I really made a lot of effort on was making sure that you're kind of denying them this 1v1 space. So like I would say for Western right now on a timeout, what they need to work, despite having the weaker comp, is they need to figure out how to problem solve, these harder to fight angles like front B, like garage, especially when you're utilizing your characters to kind of just walk forward instead of like, conditioning anything. You're not really using much smokes to push people off angles. You're not using your drone. And you're kind of just walking into the setup where York is so well positioned and well responsive with everything. It's going to be a tough round for them, especially when it comes to, their ultimates right now. York just has so much utility to be able to stall out rounds and to be able to make sure that they're not going to make as much mistakes. But Western, they need to bank a lot more, with the Empress ult now being available and only having 3 rounds away for the championship. They need to make sure that they can find an answer if they want to continue for the championship.
I mean, you're seeing a lot of value off of why several teams pick Viper into this map. Cuts off key pathways. It makes life difficult to try and navigate, especially through garage. If you're utilizing that to cut off some of the same lanes that you would go from sewer into that right side link of B. So really, Braden, I mean, has kept to themselves true, and Peep really finding a new dynamic that has made life so confusing for the Mustangs. You're gonna see the Hunter's Fury get popped out early. This was from Zuma as they were trying to put some damage down lane. They figured that it would be an A rush because that's where success has been found. This talk screen is actually planted to try and slow them down if they want to rush in, and that's gonna be some extra HP that'll be decayed if they choose to do so. So everyone's still alive. You're gonna have this stretch of C long. Everyone presented in posture to try and push this one directly into the belly of A. Zuma finds one. They'll tag out the one person that could have an ult picked up. How do you not clear that? Braden nearly good for a third. Just as Elvis was able to enter the building one more time. Slinga might be calling the audible, but look at this flank.
Yeah, Jangy and Seun being so up early. Elvis not catching him in that jump pick, but Slinga still so aware. They know that they have 40 seconds. And Seun getting one, but Slinga trading him out. It's a 2v2. No. He spots Zuma, but Zuma knows he spotted. Jangy punishing him. Are they aware that Elvis is short? Yes, they are. Jangy closing out that round with 2. So much momentum now. I mean, that's a timeout. And they lose the round right after it. Is this heartbreak for Western?
See, 6 in a row. It's what? 8 of the 9 rounds defensively have gone to York. This defense has been systematic. And ever since they got this all set up, this is what I was afraid of. We had mentioned that they could have long lane control. Apparently, no one knows, especially as they move lanes, what Braden's going to bring to the table. And as soon as they went to A, everyone's just left like confused. Party hats, and you're in a party of one, just kind of hating life. So everyone's slow rolling. Again, reposition Braden. They've got the Viper's Pit. Able to use that owl drone. They see him walking in. That was a crazy dart. They're not going to be able to use it.
Yeah, so many players getting pulled off this initial util, but Braden just pressing, getting more information, catching
my
Haru
gosh.
Hero, getting back into his pit, and the rest of Western frozen into garage, opting for a three-man walk down, but Yoon smelling something, starting to crunch. Braden punishing the Sova walk up, and everyone just in garage. All the York players so aware. Zhangyi not giving an easy pick here. The jiggle, seeing the flash coming out, getting out movement, Slinger getting the pick, and face to face, trading Doggo. The bomb is down.
30 seconds left.
He's looking for more.
Last player
Getting
standing.
Slinger. It's all into Arav. 1v4. Bomb in the possession of York. And Braden still in this ult, so aware that he could be backside. But the time is ticking down. It's 15 seconds.
Weird
Can't do
place to
much here.
save.
10 seconds left.
only at the division of York if they let him. How much you could do there. And now
Oh.
York dominated this half. It is series point, championship point after a 9-3. This is gonna be a potential 9-3 curse.
Been a while since we've seen one of those.
Yeah.
We've seen 9-3s a lot, but for one actually to pay off, well, it's all up to Western at this point. Apparently, they only win when it's OT.
All
So is
50,
that gonna
all 50 of them, of the viewers, witnesses to a 9-3 curse. It's always around,
All
don't
of-
forget it.
For all of you that are enjoying a nice sightline into this CIE Grand Final, hope you're enjoying it. This has been some stellar Valorant, regardless of how long it takes to play. Everyone's locked in, and everyone trying to be able to lock up the rest of this match. So you got Zhangyi. They got found out, so they're going to dash away. Got everyone and by Western in one spot. Braden kills Slinga, and this may be the beginning of the end, as York is trying to prowl in. These Lions gonna bring the full pride of it. Braden again, continuing to be the ruiner of this matchup. Peep finding Arav. It's a 4 versus 2. If ever there was a moment for Haru Hero to show up, it's got to be here. They have to recover the spike, and look how they've decided they're gonna navigate away. They're going down C long. There's a tripwire between them, so they won't exactly be able to do it for free without information being gained. But look how they're slowly squeezing them from either side.
Our hero trying to find a body to ult, but the distance
30
is way
seconds
too
left.
far. And that's the only body on the map, opting to go back to B. But Yoon, hearing the noise, catching Omen, catching our hero, and that's the 2-1 for York. They are the champions of CIE 2026.
Goodness gracious. York teased us, and then eventually we got through, as all of this goes the way of the Lions. Shout out over to York for keeping it fancy and keeping it content fresh. We did not have to go to overtime. Our producers were literally fist fighting about whose fault it would be if we did. But apparently they will now shake hands, because this one does go over to York. So congratulations again to them. They were able to survive, not have to let this one slip through their fingers. But Western, they gave them a hell of a fight. This one, I mean, put in the old books for CIE. This one was a nice showcase.
Yeah, I mean, this is the peak of Canadian Collegiate, as we've seen. So much individual plays from both teams, so much great team executions. It was honestly a well-played game from everybody, especially with the maps being so well played. I mean, Pearl, being such a different kind of map, but the last two, Lotus going on to quadruple OT, and Haven just getting close to that chance. But the 9-3 comeback from York, showing the composure, showing the trust. I mean, they were just the better team.
Truly, they were. I mean, this is a team that had to fight through a lot of anxiety and a lot of obstacles that were presented, especially in the way of a bunch of Mustangs that just kept running in front of them. A 9-3, that's a tough position to be in, and a little bit of copium helps you kind of get there. But whew, we got there. Make sure all of you that are currently here right now, we do have a raffle that's going on because of One of Zero. One of Zero has supplied CIE with 6 gaming mice that make you better at what you do, which is playing some of these awesome games that these guys are doing right now. Make sure to type !raffle. That's RAFFLE in the chat, in, of course, the main channel chat, so that you have a chance to win one of these 6 supplied gaming mice, of course, by One of Zero. You'll be able to do a whole bunch of things like code like a maniac, design like a guru, and maybe game like one of these awesome Valorant players out here. So take pride in all of your setup and what you do and trying to achieve all that and more. This awesome partner in One of Zero is trying to give you all the opportunity to be able to excel. Be One of Zero. And if you want to learn more about them, type !1 of 0, the numbers 1 of 0. So, and same thing too, we've got another awesome partner. It was BMO that can help you focus on what's important. You saw investments from all the economies for all of our teams across all the matches today. Well, BMO has checking and savings accounts and credit cards and borrowing options, all that stuff financially that can is specifically designed for students. So open up a BMO student account and get up to $950 in value, including $175 in cash in BMO's current student offers. So visit bmo.com/students for details, and also put !BMO or !BMO next level. That's BMO NXTLVL. And both those partners helping out a lot as they had the big BMO budgeting plays for all the thrifty plays that happen across our Valorant tournaments to be able to help support CIE. Give some love over to Machiavelli, as well as to our last remaining producer in Caprixel that was able to fill in for Z-Droid, who was also starting things off. They had work at 3 a.m., which is unfortunately in like 2 hours. And also, Justin, it was great to be able to cast along with you. I hope you had a great first tournament.
Yeah, man, thank you. You know, the games were so fun to cast, and honestly made me want to compete again. But yeah, so much good showing out. You know, I love the Canadian collegiate scene, and I hope that they continue to show this coverage.
I hope you guys are able to enjoy it. Check out the VODs, check out all of CIE, and make sure to check out all the competitions that happen throughout all 9 days of this Canadian Intercollegiate Exhibition. A lot of you and a lot of us were able to see the greatness along the Canadian collegiate scene, and I hope that happens another year round. For right now, though, good morning. It's past the midnight sign, but that's it for the night. I'm Hail Monkey Man. That is Justin. You have been fantastic. We will see you on the other side.